everybody. Bennett Woods, live from 7 Mile Casino. Make some noise. Look at that. Great to be here with you this morning on a non-victory morning. It's non-victory. We have victory. What's today? Wednesday?
It is Wednesday.
Victory Wednesday and a non-victory Wednesday. We'll start the season on a non-victory Wednesday.
I just got one question.
9 inches.
Is anybody tired out there? We had so many people here starting before 3 a.m., arriving like 2 a.m. to what was an absolute incredible scene. When I walked in around 2:45, 2:50, the place was already completely packed with hundreds of Padres fans who tuned in to listen and watch this game this morning.
Yeah, it was pretty bananas. The scene here was insane. We'll get into all of that. First of all, thank you guys for being here this morning and sticking around, watching the show live. Really appreciate it. I'm Woodsy. That's Ben Higgins. He's your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. And Paulie Reindl, who's our executive producer, imaging director, and amateur engineer most of the morning, trying to get some stuff figured out in here. I think we've got it all dialed. Now, back on the board this morning is one Adam Klug, who is our boss. Good morning, Adam. Say hello to everyone.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing excellent.
Good.
So be doing better if we had a Padres win.
Yeah, fair enough.
First pitch was 3:05. Mm-hmm. It was probably around 4:30 in the morning that I thought, I'm going to grab the equipment out of the car, the radio equipment. Not going to hit the air until about 7, but I'm going to start getting everything set up. We did not get everything officially done until about 6:55.
Yeah, it took a while.
we had some issues.
We had to troubleshoot some things. They did. I was taking a nap, so I can't really say much. But no, it sounds great. Thanks to JR for bringing a new speaker down here. But yeah, we're live at 7 Mile Casino, and I'll be honest with you guys. It was I got a text from Adam at about 2:30, and he goes, "It's packed, and we need to find other more areas." And I said, I thought he was messing with me. And then I walked in the door and I went, "Oh my God, you guys are insane! I can't believe how many people showed up this morning." So it really means a lot to me and us that you guys came out and represented and wanted to watch your Padres. And obviously, it didn't go our way today. And we'll get into all of that. I would say the best word to describe me right now is fussy. I'm very fussy about what I just watched on the television. I'm very fussy. And there was.
It's the nicest F word you've ever said on the air.
That's true. Yeah. That's true, and that's exactly how I feel. I'm fussy about it because I've seen this game play out way too many times over the last couple of seasons for this team in particular, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it certainly. But we had a great night last night. We all got down here a little early. Now it's interesting. Adam probably doesn't know I'm going to roast him for this, but I mean I feel like I have to. Don't you agree?
I think it's worth at least discussing.
It's discussion. Yeah, okay.
It's worth a discussion.
Let's not call it a roast. Let's call it a discussion. We'll get you guys to weigh in as well. So Adam texts us earlier in the week and says, "Hey, I'd love to let's have dinner together at 7 Mile Casino the night before the event." And we said, "Okay, sure." I said, "What time?" And he's like, "I don't know, 7." And I said, "Well, I eat at 4. So that's going to be a little difficult for me. But you know what? Ben's got to work. I'll wait."
7 worked for me. So yeah.
Paulie and I were walking to dinner, and he goes, "I can't tell you the last time I had a meal at 7. This is usually like second dinner time at 7. I go, "Bro,
dessert,
that's when
snack,
at 7 is when I'm in the kitchen eating Ritz crackers and drinking apple juice by myself
because
I had dinner at 4. So I go, "You know what? We'll wait. It's fine. With dinner with the boss, the boss we'll have some good times." So we go and we sit and we order our food. Now something interesting happened off the bat. Now the service here has been phenomenal. The food was outstanding. That being said, I ordered the pork chop, as I always do.
With the Asian slaw.
With the Asian slaw. And she sat down in front of me, a giant plate of lamb chops. She must have misheard what I said. And I go, "Oh, no, I don't eat little sweet lamb. Little sweet pig, I'll eat him all day long. But I don't eat sweet, cute little lambs. I just don't do it." And
Ben, to be one charming mother.
Ben said, "Well, I like lamb chops." And I said, "Of course you do." And he goes, you take my Kung Pao and I'll take your lamb chops." So I was like, number one, bless you, because it would have taken a while to get the food and everything. And I don't.
You were starving.
I was starving.
You were already starving before we sat down, so I couldn't make you wait for them to fix your order. I handed over my beloved Kung Pao chicken.
This is the kind of guy he is.
To have your lamb chops that you wouldn't eat.
And he sucked those lamb chops down to the bone, like he was eating ribs. And so I crushed the Kung Pao, and so then it's time to pay the bill. Now, you guys out there, your boss asks you to dinner. Who picks up the tab?
The boss.
Say it again. Right. You work for a big corporation. Who picks up the tab? All right. So Adam looks at me and he goes, "We gonna split this 3 ways?" And I go, this isn't on the Odyssey. And he goes, "Oh, no." I said, all right. Well, I go, you know what? I'll just get it.
He's on camera now.
He's on camera. Is he shaking his head?
Yeah.
He's laughing.
What do you have to say for yourself,
what do you have to
Adam?
say? You asked us to dinner.
So if you had asked me to dinner, you pay anytime you
Correct.
invite someone to dinner, you pay?
Yes.
That's exactly right. Yeah. You ever have a date with a girl and you asked her because,
There's a different expectation at the end of the night when you go on a date with a girl than when I'm going to dinner
that's
with you guys.
That might be the creepiest thing you've ever said. I personally respect women, and I expect nothing from them at the end of a date. That's just how I guess I'm built different. But when the boss asks you, and the boss has the corporate card, and he's like, let's just whack it up 3 ways. All right, so we did. I got the meal. Hope you guys enjoyed it. They did throw me a little cash, which I've lost at the table. So it all goes back to 7 Mile at the end of the day. I just found it interesting as far as like social graces go. Right?
We got the big boss weighing in, by the way.
Oh, is he in the chat? What did he say?
Says, Adam, you should have paid.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good Lord. It's like, oh man, it just, it is what it is. Listen, did I feel a little bit hurt? Just a little bit, but it's fine.
Yes, but now you get to lord it over him,
which is
which is what you really love to do.
If he just put his card down, I wouldn't have mentioned the dinner. I mean, I wouldn't have even mentioned it. But the fact that he always gives us great content without meaning to is why we love him.
But the biggest takeaway is I never got my Kung Pao chicken because I gave it to you, so I need to order some this morning off the 24/7 Players menu.
That's right.
So, Kung Pao chicken for one up here. If you can add it to the tab, thank you.
Kung Pao chicken for one at 6. Oh, that's 7 something in the morning.
I could crush some right now.
It was
7-11 in the morning.
Does it have those peppers in there?
Yeah, the little red,
in there.
Those gave me and Wood some trouble last
night. I was laying up at night going,
it's Kung Pao chicken. It's supposed to be spicy.
It's good. It was good. You were not lying about that, man. It is really, really good stuff. But no, we always have a great time together. We had a great time last night and had a great time this morning up until the game started. So
actually, the first 7 innings, I was having a really good time.
It was outstanding, and there's a lot to get to. We're back to feeling touched, cursed a little bit. I've never seen a guy's glove rip on the first day of the season. If it's game 136, I'd be like, all right, maybe time for a new glove. It's the first game. The first game.
It was a bad break, and maybe the Padres get out of that inning with a double play, but we'll talk about it when we come back.
Overreaction Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, it also was far from a perfect game for the Padres. Wasn't a perfect game for the Dodgers. I think there's already some things you can question Mike Schilt, the manager. One game in. We can second-guess our skipper, who hasn't even done his first of his weekly appearances with Ben and Woods any week. We're already going to be questioning the manager here. So we'll get into the game. We'll talk about it. We'll pretty much be reacting. It's kind of like an extended post-game show all the way until 10 o'clock this morning. But again, thank you all for turning out this morning. You guys are amazing. This was incredible.
Yeah. Incredible.
It's Ben and Woods. We are live from 7 Mile Casino, going until 10 o'clock on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Let's get a check of traffic with Kelly Danick and Off and Running here on a Wednesday.
0-1 line into center field. That's going to get down in a base hit. Xander Bogaerts, an RBI single to bring home the first run of 2024, and the Padres lead the Dodgers 1-0.
Well, it started out pretty well for the San Diego Padres today, jumping out to a 1-0 lead. Dodgers tied it at 1. Padres retook the lead 2-1 and held that lead all the way until the 8th inning when it fell apart on the San Diego Padres. Dodgers scoring 4 in the top of the 8th, going on to a 5-2 win in the opening game in Seoul, South Korea to start the 2024 Major League Baseball season. Bennett Woods, we are live from 7 Mile Casino. We're out on the back patio. Stop on by. We're going to be here until 10 o'clock this morning. And while a lot will be made of the ball that went through Jake Cronenworth's glove, and when I say went through his glove, I mean literally went through his glove. He made the play, had it in his webbing. The webbing failed. Instead of a potential inning-ending double play, and the game tied at 2 going to the bottom of the 8th, Dodgers went on and scored 5 runs. You can't simply blame that for today's loss, Woods, in the first game of the season. Padres pitchers walked 9 batters. That is going to come back to bite you. Unless you're Blake Snell, that is going to come back to bite you almost every single time, and the control issues, especially of the bullpen, were the biggest issue of the game today.
Yeah, that's a huge issue. And how about 4 pitch clock violations in the first game of the season? I've heard nothing but great things about the attention to detail that Mike Schilt will preach to this team. I understand it's the first game. Things will happen. 1 is okay. 2 is, hey, what are we doing? 3 is inexcusable, and 4 is ridiculous. How many did the Dodgers have?
None.
Playing in under the same conditions. Those are the things that drive me bat
Three of them,
crazy.
at least 3 of them led to walks.
Correct.
And 1 of them led to the walk that started the game-winning rally for the Dodgers.
It's just stuff that cannot happen. It cannot happen. It does not happen to great teams. And those are the little things. And yeah, I mean, that's definitely something you can clean up. I'd be really surprised if I saw one tomorrow. I'll be pretty furious if I see one tomorrow. But it's attention to detail. It is 4 singles. And I understand Glasnow's nasty. I understand their bullpen is nasty. But 4 singles is never going to get the job done. And when you're on the bump and you're giving them 9 free passes, like, you're not going to win that game.
Dodgers had no extra base hits either. I think starting pitching was mostly a wash. Darvish was 3 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 unearned run, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts through 72 pitches, 42 for strikes. Tyler Glasnow went 5 innings, but 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. A fairly even matchup. The Dodgers get a little extra credit for working Darvish a little bit more and getting him out of the game a little bit earlier, which forced Mike Schilt to go to 7 different relievers, I believe, in that game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And by the time they got to the 7th and 8th inning, using guys like Johnny Brito and Adrian Morejon and Jeremiah Estrada, where you might have had stronger relievers coming out of the pen for the Dodgers later in the game because Tyler Glasnow went deeper into it. Now, it's first game of the season, and you're not asking a ton. They both threw a similar number of pitches. Darvish just didn't make it through as many innings on his pitches because the Dodgers work the count. They are known for doing that extremely well. I would imagine they will do it well all season, but that was one of the early factors in the game as well.
Well, and the other thing that you need to think about is Dave Roberts and his bullpen. They've been together for a while. Most of the guys have been in that bullpen for a while. He knows them. He knows who he can trust and when he can trust them. Mike Schilt, this is his first year managing this team. I know he's been around the team for a couple of years, but he's got a bunch of new faces in there. Guys that Niebla is working with for the first time, Ben Fritz as well. The beginning of the year, and we said this last year, because we are so used to every year cycling through 6, 7, 8 new pieces in the bullpen, the beginning of the year is to find out what a guy's role is and how much can I trust him and when and where. And I think that's the same at every single level of baseball. Can I trust this guy in this situation? Now, Mike Schilt does not get a pass, though. He's been here for the last 2 years. He knows what Adrian Morejon is and isn't capable of. And high leverage situation, he's not the guy. Did you run out of arms? I would have rather, if you have to use Morejon, I mean, you don't, in my opinion. Like, I think we've seen enough after 5 years of ineffectiveness. Almost every time he takes the ball, there's nobody better in the system that can.
That was shocking.
It's shocking.
That was really surprising to see him in there.
He's not, I know he pitched semi-well in his very last outing of spring training, which may give Schilt some recency bias, like, oh, maybe he's figured something out. Okay, fine. But we've seen this story so many times that the guy has elite stuff. He has no confidence. He doesn't belong on a big league mound when there is a high leverage situation. And that was the highest of high leverage situations.
I will say that early in the game, and Mike Schilt said these are going to look a little more like playoff games just because, it's 2 games and they get the big break. And the way he was using Cosgrove, then De Los Santos, then Matsui.
Which I liked
start
that
with
at
Peralta,
the time.
I kind of liked, he was managing the bullpen really well. But once the Dodgers tied it up, and the plan was probably, all right, we're going to get Brito to Suarez to close the game out. But once the Dodgers tied it up, you kind of felt, now we got to save Suarez, potentially extra innings comes into play.
Yep.
It changed the dynamic. Morihone, as frustrating as he can be.
Do not polish this turd.
He got the ground ball from Lux they were looking for.
Do not
and it went through
polish
Jake
this turd.
Cronenworth's glove. I mean,
not polish this turd.
got the ground ball that he was looking for, and it didn't work out for him. I heard people going.
But then what happened? That's the thing. Is the snowball always with him. He's just not the guy, man. He's just not the guy in that spot ever, and never has been.
Now I heard. Now who's going to pitch in tomorrow's game when you use so many of those relievers? Are you going to go back-to-back days? My expectation is that Joe Musgrove and Michael King are both going to throw multiple innings for the Padres tomorrow. Hopefully you can get
like 4 and 3,
7 out of those 2 guys, and you still have Suarez. Obviously, rested and ready to go if you need him late in the game in a close game. So I think Mike Schilt was justified in being very aggressive with his bullpen usage in this game. It just didn't work out in the end.
Well, I think you can be massively aggressive tomorrow as well and I know, guy went an inning today or 2/3 of an inning. You can use him tomorrow. Everyone's got a nice long stretch until next Thursday, and there's no reason that you can't go out and empty the tank tomorrow to try to win this game. I realize it's just the second game of the season, but you're afforded an opportunity here where how many meaningful games are you going to play where you're then going to have 5 days off other than the All-Star break? So this is the time to do it. I would have liked to see Dylan Cease not pitch in that showcase game the other day and have a guy like him to come in today to back up a Yu Darvish. I mean, that's kind of what they're there for. But listen, it's not my team. I don't run that team. I'm going to question that team, though. I'm going to question those decisions today. I thought they were bad ones.
I think you're right when you say tomorrow's game. While of course it's not must win or anything, emotionally,
vibes-wise,
it's kind of a big game when you have to sit on whatever result you have for a week until you play again.
It's the old adult league style, baby. You got to sit on it for a week.
1-1 coming off of victory feels pretty incredible going into Fan Fest and getting ready for the season. 0-2 with 2 losses to the Dodgers just sits on your stomach, for a bunch of days that you don't have a great feeling. Now, could you turn it right around with a good series against the Giants?
Sure.
Of course you could, but I think emotionally, just karma and confidence-wise, tomorrow's game is somewhat more important than just 1 out of 162 for the San Diego Padres.
I mean, I told you guys, if I say it's still early this season, you can kick me in the nuts. You can. I'd fully give you credence and allowance to do so, because I'm not going to live and die with every game, but we don't want this story to play out like it did last year, and we don't want to see this early snowball of weird things happening and guys not being able to execute. And listen, I mean, this is the big leagues. Guys you got to do the job that they pay you to do.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take long for the narratives to start coming back out again. Tweet from Jason Stark at the end of the game. Did that ending in Korea look familiar? Padres lost 11 games last season when leading after 7. The Dodgers won 9 games last season when trailing after 7. Stay tuned. Only 161 to go.
Love that for us.
These teams. I mean, the narratives will be built up very quickly again. If the Padres struggle, they don't hit with runners in scoring position. And by the way, they went 2 for 5.
400
batting
today.
400 with runners in scoring position. Only left 5 runners on base.
What's our run differential, though?
-3. But it's not weird. It's not weird. -3 is what you'd expect for a team with an 0-1 record.
Right.
If you said they were -3, but they're 10 games above 500, that's when it becomes kind of
wonky,
interesting and wonky. Nothing wonky about a -3 run differential for an 0-1 team at the end of one game. But, you just don't want to let this start snowballing into here we go again. And Do we panic? Do we make big changes? Do we stick with what our game plan was at the start of the season?
Well,
you don't want to second guess yourself, but you also don't want to wait too long to try to fix the problem if it appears early in the season.
I mean, that's our job is to panic. There's not one person at Clubhouse that's going to panic after today. Mike Schultz not going to panic after today. AJ Preller's not going to panic after today. No, he may go sign a bat, but that doesn't. I think he was always going to sign a bat. Doesn't mean he's panicking. But all in all, look, a huge error by Wade. Wade works a walk, scores a run. Great, fantastic. Very next play, first ball of the inning, throws it away. That guy ends up coming around to score.
He was very clear, though, taking the blame for
that was on me.
Tapped his chest. That was on me.
Yeah, we know.
We saw. It was 10.
You don't have to tell us.
It was 10 feet off of first base.
Yeah.
Jake had no chance at it.
Yeah.
We know that was on you, Tyler. Don't worry. We weren't blaming Jake.
It's my fault
on that throw that was nowhere
it.
near the bag. So, but you got that one.
It's sometimes it's almost like having a guy that doesn't play third base start a game at third base in the first game of the season could backfire on you at some point. But what do I know?
I mean,
don't know much.
Manny will be there eventually. We'll see. Graham Pauley came in and pinch hit. Will he be at third base
what did he do?
tomorrow's game?
I couldn't see it.
He struck out.
What did he do? Okay.
Struck out, yeah.
Right,
struck out in his first at-bat.
I like Jackson Merrill's ABs today.
He went 0 for 3, but the first at-bat was productive, deep fly ball that advanced the runner from second to third and eventually got him home on the single by Xander Bogaerts. That was a good at-bat. Popped up, just got a little bit under one into the outfield.
He fought Glasnow pretty hard in the first AB I saw. Fouled off a really, really nasty back foot slider that I thought he swung over the top of, stayed alive, and barreled the ball too. So, hey, good things for him. Moment doesn't look too big for him. That's a positive from today, certainly. I can't wait to see that kid get what he looks like after 200, 300 at bats, what he's going to look like.
All right, if you're just waking up, a little bit different today as we're coming on after the Padres 5-2 loss to the Dodgers in South Korea. We'll bring back Take on Woods and Real or Fake later in the week. Take on Woods always brought to you, though, by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. And when we come back, I want to, obviously, we're going to keep talking about the game, but last night, the Padres decided on their 26-man roster, and I thought there were some interesting choices of what that looks like early in the season. Will it change much as they come home for the opening games against the Giants next week? We'll talk about that coming up live from 7 Mile Casino on a Wednesday morning. Tier 1s are here, having coffee, having breakfast with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
There's a lot to take in for Dylan Cease, but he seems so laid back. He seems like he takes everything in stride. Part of me thinks that if things are going fine with Ruben Niebla and the team, and they say to him, hey, do you want to get maybe an inning of work in one of these games if this situation comes up? And if he says yes, maybe they will do that. But I also wouldn't be surprised, Craig, if we don't see him until they get back to San Diego and it's, game 3 or 4 of the series.
Listen to Annie and Elston weekdays from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hello. Hi. Good morning, everybody. It is your old pal Woods. I guess it was my turn to chat. Wanted to talk to you about EcoWater SoCal. First of all, you can check them out everywhere. EcoWater SoCal. What is in your home's water? EcoWater has a free water test. It's pretty fascinating to see what's in there. When I did it, the guy came over and ran the little test for me, and it blew my mind. I thought to myself, this is what I've been feeding my beautiful, beautiful children, my beautiful family. And I switched it out, man. I got the EcoWater system put in my house. It will filter out impurities, customize mineral levels, so you can trust every sip, and it is spectacular. My son, Bo, who is 6, remarks on it every time he drinks it. Our water is fantastic. Now, you can feel the difference with your clothes and how little soap you got to use. It's crazy how much water softeners are in laundry soap. EcoWater SoCal, they're a life changer because it's safe for your family. So you'll see the differences with your appliances as well. No more buildup from hard water. It's going to save you money in the long run. Run the numbers, guys. If you're spending over $40 a month for water delivery and rental of a dispenser, EcoWater SoCal can get you there for $29 a month, and it's much better. I've done both. This is a no-brainer, okay? So check them out today, EcoWaterSoCal.com. Right now? Hey. Hi, guys. Woodsy again. We are on fire out here
crushing it
at the live remote at 7 Mile Casino. But wanted to tell you about QC Kinetics now. Had some very painful, achy wrists. And I'll be honest, I was kind of staring down the barrel of surgery on my wrist, which is not something that a dad of 2 young kids wants to do. It was going to take me out for so long. Heard about QC Kinetics, went in, got the treatments there, and my life has changed dramatically. I have zero pain in my wrists anymore. So, maybe it's your knees, maybe it's your back, maybe it's your shoulder. You've had arthritis, old sports injuries, whatever. Don't let the pain keep you from living your best life. They are incredible. They are really, really incredible people. The service is incredible as well. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility and reclaim your independence. I can now walk, run, use my hands, play my guitar, lift weights, whatever I want to do without the danger and trauma of surgery and, of course, without harmful drugs. Call them now at QC Kinetics. Get a free consultation. Got location in Hillcrest, location in Torrey Hills. Easy number to remember as well. 619-614-PAIN. 619-614-PAIN will get it done, or go to qckinetics.com. But I would call today, get that free consultation if you're suffering like I was. 619-614-PAIN.
Matsui, long pause. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Yuki Matsui's first career strikeout as he takes care of the pinch hitter Kike Hernandez. 1-2-3.
Good debut by Yuki Matsui on the big leagues. Also talked about Jackson Merrill, Graham Pauley making his major league debut today as well. It's Ben and Woods live from 7 Mile Casino, and I've got good news and bad news for everybody. The bad news is, after today's amazing turnout, I feel bad we're not going to do this again for tomorrow's game. But I don't know that we can handle another 2 a.m. wake-up call and coming back and doing it all over again. So no viewing party tomorrow. That's the bad news. The good news is next Thursday, we got another live show, Out and About. We're going to be out in the gas lamp, broadcasting live from Baja Rick's Cantina on Thursday, March 28th, a home opener located at the corner of 6th and L in the gas lamp. The festivities kick off at 6 a.m. with our show, followed by Annie and Elston from 10 to noon. We're going to be giving away tickets to the Padres Cardinals game on April 2nd. Plus, there's going to be Blue Moon, Coors Light, and Topo Chico specials. Breakfast served from 6 to 10. That's Thursday, March 28th at Baja Rick's Cantina, corner of 6th and L in the gas lamp, brought to you by Blue Moon 2024. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Can we talk about what's happening on April 2nd?
I think we can. Why can't
Adam?
we?
Well, Adam
Can let us know if it's for public knowledge yet, or he wants to keep that under wraps for a few more days.
Sure, why not? He says.
Right.
So you'll be able to come to the watch party, and then you can win tickets to the game April 2nd against the St. Louis Cardinals.
97.3
It's
the
a giveaway
fan
night.
It's 97.3 the Fan Poncho giveaway night. They're amazing. And at that very game, you will be able to see Ben, Woods, and Paul throw out the first pitch at Petco Park against the Cardinals. I'm going to show them how they do it the Padre way instead of the Cardinal way, which means I'm going to throw it outside and down and away and miss the target.
Do we need to coordinate so we all throw at the same time? A little practice session between now and then, just to.
I watched you.
We want to have a good look.
You pitch at spring training. You could use a little practice.
I mean, I hit the targets.
Yeah,
it's not about velocity in a first pitch.
I went behind the
you threw it behind the batter's head,
but I threw it hard.
Paulie threw it right through the target hole.
Right through the hole.
That's where you want to be. Right in the hole.
Love going right through
the hole. And I was somewhere near the catcher. You're the one who might need the most practice, actually.
Maybe. I mean, it's not going to hurt us.
You don't want to end up like Snoop or some of the other memes in the history of bad ceremonial first pitches.
Now I'm starting to think about it, so I probably will.
No one ever shows a good ceremonial first pitch again.
No.
Oh, remember that great one?
The guy pumped it right in. Yeah.
Maybe George W. Bush after 9/11. That's the only good ceremonial first pitch that ever gets shown again, but the bad ones live forever. So
I'm excited.
It's also 97.3 the Fan Poncho night.
Yep.
So get there early.
Get those ponchos. Should we wear them out on the mound? Probably.
Will that make it difficult to throw and possibly impact our ability to throw a good pitch?
Right?
I'll tell you one thing I'm not wearing is the brown 97.3 the Fan polo that Ben Higgins is. And
it's very comfortable, by the way. Best radio station free shirt I have ever worn in my life.
You are the biggest simp kiss ass in the history of the world. So yesterday, we get to the hotel. And I'm gonna take a little nap before we go to dinner. And Paulie texts me and he goes, "Did you see Michael's email?" And I go, "Oh no, what?" So I go to my email and I open it and I read this from our big boss Michael, who was here this morning. It said
up a couple of hundred according to him at the Texas Hold'em tables. Yeah,
probably could have bought our dinner last night with all those winnings. He says this in the email. Just making sure we're looking our best and representing our brand with our awesome 97.3 The Fan shirts tomorrow. For all the TV coverage you're going to receive, see you at 4 a.m. And Paulie goes, is he serious?
I just parked at the casino.
And I go, I think he is serious. And I said, I didn't bring mine. Mine's in my locker at work. And Ben said, well, I brought mine. Of course you did.
Mine's at home, and it just took me an hour in traffic.
Not going back.
That is not happening.
And I said, if this is going to be if he's serious, then I'm going to have to resign. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. And I said to Paulie, I go, are they trying to pig vomit us and trying to make us quit right now so they can hire somebody else?
He heard us talking about it last week and wanted to give you both a hard time, knowing you weren't planning to wear the shirt.
He gave me a heart attack. He absolutely gave me a heart attack.
I think that's what he wanted to do.
Mission accomplished.
That is fun. All right, we're going to check traffic. When we come back, Padres roster, the decisions that were made. Some of them impacted the game today, but we'll discuss the final 26-man that they came up with last night here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your 15-minute instant drive-thru oil change. Crash is cleared on northbound 5 before Imperial, so speeds are getting back to normal there. Got an accident involving a motorcycle in the North County, westbound 78 past Twin Oaks Valley Road. Looks like that Twin Oaks Valley on-ramp as well as that right lane are blocked with that collision. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is your drive-thru oil change. It only takes 15 minutes and you don't have to get out of your car. With all the rain lately, Valvoline is also offering replacement wiper blades. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by your local San Diego County, the UPS store. That's why I'm dressed like a UPS driver right now. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event from March 27th through March 30th. 50% off shredding services. Visit the upsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. I actually am dressed exactly like a UPS driver right now.
What can Brown do for
so
you?
There were a couple of surprises on the final 26-man roster that the Padres submitted last night our time, about 8 hours before the game yesterday. Brett Sullivan, who had a really good spring camp, and we got to talk to him and know him a little bit.
Loved him.
Who was kind of looked like he was going to make the team as a third catching option plus a utility left-handed bat, was optioned down to AAA El Paso. And then the other player that they optioned down, because they needed to put 2 down to AAA and 3 are on a taxi squad, was Korean pitcher Woo-Suk Go, who did not make the 26-man roster and was optioned down to El Paso.
So much for my question yesterday. Any pressure to get Woo-Suk Go in the game in his native land of Korea?
Can't even use him.
The answer was no. No pressure at all from Mike Schilt to put him in the game. Don't know. He has not been super effective to this point, so don't know what the future holds for him. But your thoughts on the roster moves, any surprises?
Well, I did read somewhere that Woo-Suk Go has the ability to opt out of his contract if he is not on the major league team. However, I think the Padres realize, and Woo-Suk Go probably also realizes, that what is he making? Like a little over $1 million? Doesn't want to give up that in case no other team would be interested. So he'll probably work on a little bit AAA, getting used to, the American baseball is a little bit different. The adjustment period from the KBO takes a little while. It took Ha-Seong Kim a little bit while. And hopefully at some point, maybe even soon, he'll be ready to contribute with the Major League bullpen, but the Padres clearly felt like he wasn't quite there yet from what they had seen in not just the spring training games, but kind of on the backfields as well, just the stuff and how it was playing, what they had seen in their bullpens. I think they didn't have a tremendous amount of confidence yet that Go was going to be a reliable, especially late inning type reliever yet on the major league level.
And so how this works now is this is the 26-man roster for tomorrow's game as well, and then that's going to be the roster moving forward?
Well, so they have the 3 members of their taxi squad, which Dylan Cease is 1, and then Matt Waldron and Pedro Avila are 2. So you have to, when you come home, you're going to have to activate Dylan Cease and at least one of the 2, Avila and Waldron, to be the 5th starter.
Probably
likely Waldron.
Yep.
The fact that he's on the taxi squad lets me know he's probably also won the 5th starter's job. Mike Schilt has not officially announced anything, but having Brito out of the bullpen early, probably going to be in the bullpen to start the season with Waldron as a starter. Avila could still get released. He's out of options, I believe. Or they could put him on the bullpen and send someone else down, but they're going to have to make those 3 decisions when they come back. And there's almost no chance that they're going to keep all 3 of their utility third base options that are active for this series in Tyler Wade, who got to start today at third base, Eggy Rosario, and Graham Pauley, who came in as a pinch hitter and struck out in the 9th inning. One of those guys will have to be the starter at third until Manny Machado is ready to play the field. Probably keep another one as a backup infielder, utility guy, pinch hitter. And one of them, I would imagine, would get sent back down to AAA to get more at-bats. Does that mean it's going to be Graham Pauley? The fact that he didn't start this game, so he's not your opening day starter, you don't want to just sit him on the bench and use him only as a pinch hit. Now, he's not missing anything yet. The minor league season hasn't started. But if he's not going to be starting, you need to send Graham Pauley back down, either to AAA, AA, get some more at-bats in the minor leagues, get consistent work, and probably we'll see him back at some point this season. But early indications is that Tyler Wade going to be manning third base until Manny Machado's ready to take over full-time.
So did we start his clock for no reason? Not that they really care about that in this organization.
They don't, and if you send him back down, I mean, you've only clocked for 2 days.
2 days.
So, I think there are some implications to just starting it overall, but he won't. If they send him back down, he won't be amassing service time.
Right.
And I think they fully expect to have him up
sure
at some point this year, so it's not as though you're using one of his option years and you were going to have him in the minor leagues all year. So I don't think that's a huge concern with Pauley, but at this point, I would think he'll be one of the guys that ends up back down in the minor leagues next week when the Padres open the season at home.
And you got to be a little nervous if you're Pedro Avila. You haven't pitched well in spring training, and now you're out of options. And I do feel like, based on what he was able to do at the big league level last year at the end of the season, he will not pass waivers. Somebody will snatch him up. I mean, people need arms. They need long relievers. Hell, they need starters, and he's a guy that has shown that he can start at the big league level. So are you going to run the risk of losing him? Now, you traded depth to Chicago for Dylan Cease. This is where it can start to snowball a little bit if guys aren't effective. So it's going to be interesting. Again, one of those times, I'll say it many times this year, I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions at all, because with a guy that's out of options, they're going to try to put him through waivers. Somebody will snag him. I have to imagine, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, and the Padres, but it's going to be whatever they choose. If they don't keep Stephen Kolek,
right,
they'll have to offer him back to the Mariners because he's a Rule 5 draft pick. There's going to be at least one hard decision coming up. Someone is going to at least be exposed to be lost likely next week. And while the Padres did use 7 relievers, as we said in this first game, didn't use Suarez, didn't use Kolek, so they have a couple of guys fresh. And imagine, Brito only threw a third of an inning, Matsui threw 2/3 of an inning, Cosgrove threw 2/3 of an inning. You'll have a couple of those guys available for back-to-backs, as well as Michael King if you multiple innings out of the pen yesterday or tomorrow after Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I'm Mike Schill, I tried to get a guy like Johnny Brito, who was so good in spring training, and the location was so good in spring training. I try to get him back out there as soon as I can. If he's ready to go tomorrow, I try to get him back out and say, look, you are going to be a massively, massively valuable part of this team. Go out and show that you can do it.
He faced, 3 batters, gave up a single, a walk, and got an out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
the end of the world.
You can't read anything into 3 batters and a single. That's BABIP. The Dodgers didn't get any extra base hits in the game. The hardest hit balls of the game all went foul.
One thing I was surprised by, I felt like a lot of guys hit. I thought Cronenworth hit that missile. I'm like, oh, it's gone. That's absolutely, we're down by 1
Wasn't
now.
Carrying in fair territory.
I mean, that ball did not go anywhere in that ballpark.
Ohtani hit one nearly 120 miles an hour that went foul down the line, but Padres hit some really hard ones as well.
Yeah.
Didn't quite have as much BABIP luck as the Dodgers, but ultimately, again, it was the walks. Not necessarily the hits that hurt the Padres in this game. It was the walks and constantly and the glove that didn't work for the Padres that hurt them more than anything else.
What did Croney have to say after the game about his glove?
Got from The Athletic. Jake Cronenworth said tonight was the first time he's ever had a baseball break through the webbing of his glove. Quote, "It sucks. I don't know what else to say." Jake Cronenworth reacting to the ball going through his glove.
Interesting times in Jake Cronenworth land. He had some interesting comments yesterday. I'm sure you guys read the comments he had yesterday. He's not we know Jake pretty well and like Jake a lot and really want him to dominate this year and do the best that he can. But he was a little bit surly yesterday. Did you see the comments that he had yesterday? He's never been a grouchy guy, and I'm like, geez, dude, like if you're this fed up before game 1, how's it going to be this season?
In print, you don't know exactly how it came out as he said it, but he was referring to the questions about the Dodgers and how are you going to catch the Dodgers, and said something to the effect of, well, what about the other 29 teams? It's not all about the Dodgers, and let's beat the other teams and we'll be okay. I don't know. It sounded like he was a little bit frustrated in terms of you can't. And he's right. You can't measure your season and simply compare yourself against the Dodgers.
No.
There will be 29 teams that probably in the regular season end up looking very bad if they compare themselves to the LA Dodgers.
For sure.
The idea is to compare yourself to enough teams that you make a wild card, and then you have to directly compare yourself to the Dodgers when you face them in the playoffs. And you can't get around it. At some point, if you face them, you'll have to figure out a way to beat them.
Yep.
But during the regular season, the Dodgers likely going to win 100-plus games again, and I doubt the Padres are going to win 100 games this season.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah, you're just kind of setting yourself up for disappointment, criticism. If it's all about, all right, have you caught the Dodgers yet? No? Oh, you lost one? It's going to be a long season that way.
Yeah,
and I can understand why players might not want to just keep answering those same questions.
I can't wait to ask Schilt that question when we have him on for our first time. So, you ever going to catch the Dodgers? Or no, it was, like I said, I'm a little bit fussy after the game. I was fussy after the first game last year, but I was hungover last year. Now I'm just tired after this one, and I'm fussy that we got up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch that.
I'd love an opening day where Woods is both refreshed
and fun.
in a great mood.
Yeah.
Never seems to happen anymore.
When's the last opening day win we've seen as a squad? We've been together 6 years next week, right?
I would
Next week?
say,
Yeah.
6-year anniversary next
will
week.
be our 6-year anniversary.
Adam, look that up for us while you're back in the
I
studio.
know it wasn't 2023. 2022. No, that was spring training.
2020, did they win their first game?
Anybody remember?
They lost to the Diamondbacks, then won 4 in a row in 2022. 2021.
Have we ever been happy?
We've never been happy.
2021, they won their first 3 games against Arizona, failed to sweep them in the series, though, in the finale. So 2021.
Good Lord,
Okay.
man. It feels like
Three
it's been forever.
three straight opening day losses for the San Diego Padres.
Bummer.
And nothing disappointing happened that year.
We've always got next year to look forward to, guys. At least the weather's beautiful here. It's beautiful. We're sitting together. We're healthy-ish, right?
I didn't oversell this patio, right?
No,
all
this
the
is
time
amazing.
I tell you about the back patio and overlooking San Diego Bay.
Beautiful.
They've got the foliage in here that makes it feel like you're on vacation.
I feel like I'm in the islands. Or
I
something.
love the patio here at 7 Mile Casino. It's like my favorite patio in town. It's such a great spot. And if you didn't make it out today, 7 Mile Casino happens to be open 24/7. So you can come out anytime and enjoy the tables and enjoy Sammy's here at 7 Mile. I need to enjoy some Sammy's before we're done.
I enjoy Sammy Levitt. Look at us over there.
Sammy Levitt,
2 more hours. Sam Levitt in the house. We'll be back. Get you started again with a 2-hour show of Ben and Woods coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
the way home on Ben and Woods. That doesn't have the same ring to it.
It's your 3-hour show that you always wanted, Woods.
I finally get a 3-hour show after I had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to come in for an event. So I don't know if the trade-off was worth it. I had a great time. No, I had an absolutely phenomenal time. Got to talk to so many just beautiful
blackjack dealers.
We had blackjack
so
dealers.
Many blackjack dealers, would be honest.
I got more 14s and 15s than any person has ever had in their life. And listen, it's fine. These are our beautiful, wonderful, longest client that we've ever had, 7 Mile Casino. And you know the thing I love about them, they always answer the bell when we call them and say, "Hey, can we get a gift card for some families in need?" Done. Yeah, we need a place to host our viewing party. Done. Anything that we ever asked them for, they have always delivered. I'm happy to give you guys some of my money here, and happy to pay for dinner last night because the food is spectacular. You wanted something, ma'am? Could the big guy get some? Could the big guy get some Kung Pao chicken? Thank you so much.
Never mind.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
She doesn't work here. That's so embarrassing for you. At least that didn't happen on live radio.
All right, Adam.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
He's playing drops and stuff. I'm Woodsy. It's Ben Higgins, Paul Reindl, the executive producer. And yeah, it's fun. We're going to rehash this 5-2 loss for the next. What? How long? You tell me.
It's 18 hours.
18 hours.
Yeah, and then we'll start again.
What are your plans for tomorrow to watch the game?
I'm going to try to have as normal of a day as possible today.
Do you work tonight?
I do work tonight.
I am so tired.
Hopefully, I'm going to tape a little early on the 11 p.m. and get to sleep hopefully by 10 p.m.
Okay.
And then get up at 3 a.m. and just quietly watch the game at home for a few innings before I come in and meet you at work tomorrow.
You on top of your sheets.
Yes.
Watching the game.
Did not get under the sheets last night either.
Up.
Top of the sheets,
My
like
room,
I do.
It was freezing in my room.
Do you bring another blanket?
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't cold.
What did you sleep in?
I slept in T-shirts and shorts like I always do.
Like basketball shorts?
Yeah, basketball shorts and a T-shirt.
And you came into your room after dinner.
Did
you gamble at all?
Well temperature. No, I did not. I just came right straight after work. I came right back and went right to sleep. Really, I was out within 20, 30 minutes. It was good.
You walked in your room. Do you have one bed or two beds?
I have two. There was two beds.
Two queens.
Yeah,
so you got on,
queens,
you picked one. And you just laid on top of it.
Yeah.
And then you fell asleep and you woke up at 2 or whatever.
Yep. Set the alarm for like 2:35 and got dressed and walked over here.
Honest to God, it remains one of the most fascinating things in my entire life is your sleep process. Next time we go somewhere at spring training,
you want to monitor.
I'm going to have Paulie creep in the middle of the night. I'm like, sorry, Paul, you got to get up and go get video.
Snake a camera under the door.
Me and Paulie just monitoring him. He's like, that son of a bitch, his legs are covered. I know I can see him covered. It remains to me like the most riveting thing of all time. So you're going to get up, you'll flip the TV on, and you'll start the game at 3, and we'll do the same.
Yeah, and tomorrow's show will come after Sammy's post-game show again, so probably another 3-hour show, but without quite as early of a wake-up call tomorrow. And then, of course, Friday, gets an NCAA tournament game for the Aztecs after our show at 10:45. Could really be a bad 3-day sports window.
Or a good one.
For Padres. Hey, if they win, you have to pay. Keep this in mind. If the Padres win tomorrow.
Padres win.
The Padres are very happy coming home 1-1.
Aztecs win.
And then they play again on Sunday, get to the Sweet 16. I mean, it could be great. It could be fantastic, or it could be pretty.
Let's see how much copium we can really take right now. Would it be better to lose the first? If you have to split, would you rather win the first or the second?
Second game, obviously. You got a winning streak. You got a happy flight. Yeah, you want to win the second game.
Yeah.
It's probably smart to drop the first one and make the Dodgers overconfident.
Mike Schultz is a genius.
Jake Cronenworth and his glove.
Brilliant.
Such a savvy veteran move.
Brilliant strategy. I'm excited for the NCAAs. I got to get my brackets filled out. I got to get Bo to fill out a bracket. He picked all the upsets last year. It was truly incredible. I'll be doing that this afternoon. But, listen, this is the beauty of baseball season. Game's over. We flush it, and we get ready to get hurt again tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the box score, the most glaring thing that stands out is Dodgers got a couple of hits each from Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani, just singles, but, string them together at the top of the order to put together a couple of rallies. Xander Bogaerts came through 2 for 4 at the top of the lineup, including an RBI single. But the next 4 guys, Fernando Tatis Jr., 0 for 4. Jake Cronenworth 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Manny went 0 for 3, did walk and score. Ha-Sung Kim 0 for 3 with a walk. No hits from 4 guys. You're going to see a lot of L's for the Padres this season when they have those 4 guys in order, all going 0 for the game. That's just not going to be a recipe for victory this year for the Padres very often.
And I don't know what you do. There's no solution to it. There's
no you run them out tomorrow and hope they get hits.
And you nothing changes. And I know that they always say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. But in this game of baseball with a lineup like that, that's exactly what you have to do. You can't go in there and go, let's put Sugar in between, in between Xander and Tatis. You just can't do it. You have to have faith that they're going to get the job done. That top heavy lineup. And again, look at the Dodgers lineup as well. And I know they got some good players. They always do, but that's a top heavy lineup. You look at the best lineups in baseball, their best 4 players are all at the top. Our guys in the recent couple of years have not gotten it done. Now, I mean, how long of a leash do you give Jake Cronenworth hitting third? The fact that he's a lefty bat and that's why he's in the 3 hole. How long of a leash do you give him? Do you give him to the All-Star break? Do you give him 30 games? Do you give him 60 games?
Yeah, as you said, for lineup construction purposes, you kind of need a lefty there
Correct.
to break up the 4 other righties at the top of your order. Doesn't have to be Jake Cronenworth. Jake's getting the first option because he's a veteran and he's going to get that opportunity. But if you see a bunch more 0 for 4s, they're going to have to try something different. And my guess would be
Jackson Merrill.
That Jackson Merrill, even though he was an 0 for 3 today and he's batting 9th, and I think that's appropriate to start the year. Less pressure, bottom of the order. He's also got good speed for a re-table setter for the big guys coming up. But, if he continues to swing like we saw it in spring training, and I liked his swings today, and Jake doesn't get it going early in the season, you may have to move Jackson Merrill up in the order somewhere pretty critical for a 20-year-old. That's going to be a big ask.
That's quite a jump. It's quite a jump. And
Tatis did it when he was a rookie. Started. I think he was hitting 7th first couple of games, and then within a week or 2, he was like up to 5th, and then all of a sudden, all right, you're in the top 3 spots in the order, kid. Pretty much in perpetuity for the rest of your life.
Easy for you to say.
Not that easy.
Tatis and Manny, are guys that they're just so massively valuable to this team, and didn't see some real great ABs out of either of those guys today. It's one game, so but those are the ones. If they go, we go. That's pretty much how it's been. It was encouraging to see Xander get that knock. Driving a run, get a couple hits today. Certainly at the top of the lineup. I like that move from Mike Shilton. I don't know. It's obviously you're not going to panic, and you got to keep running those guys out there. That's your only option right now. But you do wonder. You do wonder how long the leash is going to be for Crony in the 3. It's a pretty important spot to hit in the lineup every single day. So
it's longer than 2 games. It's not. Hey, you got better play well tomorrow, or by opening day you're out. I think it's at least a couple of weeks sort of thing. And Jake did some good things in spring training.
Yep.
We know that Manny's gonna bust out here. I'm not too worried about Fernando Tatis Jr., but Dodgers have tough pitchers, and they happen to get the better of the matchups today.
Yep, for sure.
Was it last night? I saw Blake Snell in a Giants uniform for the first time. A little weird in the dugout. I heard the Giants announcers talking about Snellzilla and bringing him and a new kind of excitement that the Giants are getting with Blake joining their starting rotation.
He looked bored in the dugout.
I felt for him because you saw him standing there in between a bunch of other guys that presumably doesn't really know.
Right.
He's got that kind of uncomfortable new kid at school feeling that he'll have to figure out as he makes his way with the San Francisco Giants. But to see him in the black and the orange was definitely a little jarring for the first time, I have to admit. And I don't know. Woods thinks he might pitch in the first series against the Padres next weekend for the Giants. It may take him a little bit longer before they feel comfortable putting him into the starting rotation. Really depends on the kind of work he's been getting before he signed and what the Giants kind of evaluate him, I think, in the first bullpen sessions. Got to do a bullpen session before you do anything else for your new team.
And I'm sure he has.
And then maybe a last spring training outing and make your evaluation at that point. But Bob Melvin knows what he's got.
Yeah, he
with
knows
Blake Snell as well.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody brought up in the chat, and I thought it was a good point. We haven't mentioned it yet. The double play that Campy hit into that's tough. It's a tough that's a tough kind of, you load the bases. You definitely want more than one there in that inning against that team. They're a great team. They bear down on you. You got to find a way to have a big inning against those guys. And you have a big inning, that inning, you could have won that game going away. So just a tough one to swallow today. The mistakes we talked about earlier, the Wade error, the 4 pitch clock violations, and the 9 walks from this pitching staff is just stuff that's got to be cleaned up ASAP, or we're going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see on that Campusano ball because he hit one really hard, 110 miles an hour as a force out. But that was earlier in the game.
Yeah.
It was what inning was it that he hit the GIDP? It was only 74.8.
Yeah,
That's
Randy rollover.
That's definitely not what you're looking for in that situation after you go walk single to open the inning. And did you like the bunt from Jurickson Profar there to load the bases? Mike Schilt ball?
I did.
You did. He did like the bunt.
Now,
Jurickson.
now, hang on. Let me clarify myself here. I've never said bunting is bad. I said sacrifice bunting is bad. He was bunting for a hit, and he got a hit. That's exactly what he did.
It also would have worked as a sacrifice had he not gotten a hit.
It absolutely would have, but he was bunting for a hit, and he got a hit. I don't have a problem with that. What I hate is giving up outs, and you didn't give up. You did not give up an out. Mission accomplished.
So what's the difference? Is it simply that he disguised it a little bit longer to try to fool the defense?
Take it down the line.
When you are getting up there and the pitcher goes into his windup and you're already waiting and squaring and saying to the defense, I am giving myself up to move these runners.
Yep.
That is a Woods baseball no-no going forward.
It's not just a Woods baseball no-no. It's a very few managers do it these days, and it's for a reason, because outs are massively precious. And, where the nerds come into play is, hey, man, you've only got a certain amount of these things to work with. Make them actually earn that out instead of handing them an out. We all know the line from Moneyball. They're giving you an out. Take it. Don't throw it anywhere else. Throw it to first. Get the out. They're giving you an out. They're just precious.
Say thank you.
Say thank you. That's exactly right. So love the move. Catch the defense asleep. Catch the pitcher asleep. Whatever. It was fantastically executed. That's when the next guy, Campusano, needs to come up, hit one in the gap, and you're off and running, and you're on to a big inning.
By the way, 3 of the 4 hardest hit balls in that game were Padres outs.
Yep.
Kind of sounds like last year, but Jackson Merrill had one of them. The runner moving over fly ball to center field hit at 105.7. Tatis had a hard ground out at 106.7. Campy had another one at 110.1.
The one is probably not on there because it was a foul ball. But
Shohei had 120 almost, like 119.7 or something. That one went foul. Padres had a couple of hard fouls down the line as well. Jurickson got in front of him that he pounded pretty hard.
Are we talking about how
hard
we
the
are
foul balls?
Balls now in the first game of the year?
Barreling up the ball.
Nobody barrels foul balls
is that
like
better
we do.
or worse than run differential from Ben?
I don't know. Foul ball talk may be worse. The Giants had a pretty big base running mistake by Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts. The Dodgers didn't come back to hurt them at all. So our mistakes usually compound. You got to be perfect to play a team like that. 4 pitch clock violations leading to walks are it just can't happen, man. I understand you're just a couple days out of spring training, but you can see your time. You know how much time you have. Again, 1, all right. 2, inexcusable. 3, whatever. 4, there's just no way. That just can't continue to happen.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. Kelly's going to check traffic. We are here at 7 Mile Casino, live until 10 o'clock this morning. It is a huge week. Padres still have one more game, and they'll be happy if they come back 1-1. No doubt about that. We'll talk more about what's coming up tomorrow with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, good morning, guys. It is Woodsy. Want to tell you about my friends over at Loan Pronto. If you could imagine, having a dream and then waking up next week being 100% debt-free, no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto can help you if you own your home right now. You're driving into work. Think, you know what? I can get out from under all of this. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. So with Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes, almost no documentation, no appraisal, no hassle. You can get it knocked out by lunchtime, all right? Get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home's value and use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner that's doing this with Loan Pronto is saving about $850 a month. That is nothing to scoff at, my friends. Again, get that money out. Use the Equity Express line of credit from Loan Pronto by calling 619-207-4336, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com. Once again, 619-207-4336, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Oh, I'm feeling much better. Just crushed some Kung Pao chicken during that break.
What time is it?
It is 8:22 in the morning.
Dude is murdering Kung Pao chicken. And it's, I mean, put it up on the
I haven't eaten in about 13 hours, though, so that
right?
is tasting really good right now.
You sucked down those lamb chops last night.
I did. That was the last thing I ate. Yeah. So.
And then like 2 pieces of Adam's Thai pizza.
That's right. I gave him a couple of lamb chops. We traded.
That's
It was a
true.
trade. Tradesies.
That's true. That's true.
Because you had my Kung Pao chicken.
I did. It was good.
It was very good. All right,
And
it's
you
been a
went
Woods
back and slept on the blanket.
on top of the blanket. Yeah, at the Rambler.
People in the chat were talking, and I'm curious. Is it because you're worried about the cleanliness of going under the
No, 'cause
sheets?
he does
No, I do that at home, too.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't know how clean my sheets are at home either, but that's not why. That's not why I don't get under the sheets.
They don't change the comforter.
I get.
Like, you might be sitting on the dirtiest part of the bed. They change the
I
sheets.
pull off the whole comforter and I just lay on the sheet.
Okay.
But with the bedspread and comforter pulled off the bed.
What do you do with that? You throw it on the ground?
Yeah, just all the way off, hanging off the, back, the bottom edge.
So then the next guy gets to get it off the ground and use it.
Well, no, they make the bed for the next guy, hopefully.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
they
our
don't
Airbnb in Peoria.
They don't wash the comforter that you've now thrown on the bed.
Well, doesn't everybody throw the top bedspread kind of off the bed when they get to a hotel?
No, I don't.
I think that's the first thing a lot of people do. Just get rid of the top bedspread. You know that that's not the cleanest thing in the room, so you just toss it to the side and don't worry about it.
Well, now we know why it's not the cleanest
Well,
thing
there
in
you
the
go.
room.
That's
Yeah.
what everyone's doing.
Fair enough.
All right, it's Ben and Woods. We are live from 7 Mile Casino here down in Chula Vista. Very easy to get to.
7 minutes from downtown.
Right off. You get off East Street on the 5. It's right on the frontage road, and you literally can see the bay from where I'm sitting. I can see all the way to Coronado from here.
Yeah.
Coronado Cays right across.
Marcelo's house right over there.
Yeah,
Don Manning's
Tan-
house.
He's not there. He's in Korea right now, so don't go over and try to say hi to Don right now. He'll be back in a couple of days with the rest of the Padres. First, though, they have game number 2 of the Korea series tomorrow. And interesting matchup with Joe Musgrove going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, making his major league debut. And it was an up and down spring training for Yamamoto. Certainly showed the kind of stuff that made him a $325 million pitcher in the offseason, the 12-year contract he got from the LA Dodgers after Shohei Ohtani signed his deal. But at the same time, he gave up some runs. He gave up some hits. It wasn't like the major league batters were completely flummoxed and baffled by him. Be interested to see whether the Padres can put a couple of rallies together, get some runs on the board and give Joe a chance to, get a lead and then maybe bring in Michael King for the first time and get maybe 3 innings out of him. You get solid performances from Musgrove and King. Get to Yamamoto. There's no reason the Padres can't win the game tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be interesting to see who they employ in the late innings. Should we get down to a situation like we had today? Who still remain? Who did not throw?
Suarez and Kolek both did not throw.
Kolek's a righty.
Kolek is a righty,
Okay.
Rule 5 righty, I believe. And I don't think he's a guy they're going to rely on like as an 8th inning setup guy. I mean, that job looked like it's going to go to – Peralta and Matsui both look good, but they brought him in earlier in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think Brito is supposed to be the setup guy.
Right.
That's where he was brought in the 8th inning when it all went bad for the Padres today. I don't envision that as his role. I think at some point Brito's going to be in the starting rotation, even if it's Waldron to begin the season. I feel like they had him stretched out during spring for a reason, and you're probably going to see him as a starter or more of a longer reliever, not necessarily a setup man for Robert Suarez. But, you get 7 out of Musgrove and King. You should be able to finish out that game and get to 9. You just have to find a way to score some runs. And 2 is not going to get the job done most days against most teams, especially not the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, and as it pertains to Yamamoto, got some numbers on him. He throws his 4-seamer about 40% of the time. The other one he throws, and he tunnels it well, is his splitter. 26.7% of the time. His curve, which is pretty nasty, he only throws 15%. He also has a cutter. He also has a 2-seamer. He has a sweeper that he barely throws. And he has that kind of funky arm delivery. So I don't expect, and you saw it kind of play out this way in spring training, where he would mow down the first 5 guys he faced, and then guys would get a look at him, and they actually would hit him around a little bit. So patience is going to be key. try to wait him out, try to get him out of the game. But their bullpen they have a pretty stacked bullpen as well. I don't know what their plans are tomorrow as far as maybe piggybacking a guy along with Yamamoto, but you can get to him. I mean, he's gettable. It probably won't be the first inning, but this is a huge start for him. They signed that guy for a lot of money for a lot of years. So this is a big one for him.
Yeah, be a lot of attention, especially there in Korea, in Asia. There's a huge Japanese contingent that you saw. Japan, they're broadcasting the games live back there. Everyone's watching. He knows that. It's a big moment for him, just as it was a big moment for Ohtani. And we had both of the broadcasts on here at 7 Mile. We had the TV broadcast with Don and Mud, which was a little bit on a delay, the streaming, and then the ESPN broadcast.
It was about an inning and a half behind. Yeah,
you got a little slow out here for sure. And then the ESPN broadcast, which was really just cutaways to Ohtani's new bride.
Yeah.
Most times I was looking up there, they were seeing what her reaction was to everything that was going on. But they know who people are watching for and why they're tuning in worldwide. Maybe not here in San Diego, but worldwide they're tuning in to see Ohtani, see Yamamoto, and see what they can do on the major league level with the Dodgers.
I don't want to steal any of Chris Ello's material for later, but I did hear him saying he was inside and he was watching the live broadcast, the streaming one. He said, that's why I can't stream. The streaming drives me crazy. I can hear, cheers coming from over there. This one's an inning and a half behind. And he said, I'm planning on going all in on streaming today on the Gwynn and Chris show. So look forward to that rant coming up later today.
I heard a little bit of it yesterday.
He did it again?
Now, he already tapes everything, though. So he's used to trying not to see what's happened and the results of a game. He'll often wait until the game's over, then start his DVR so he can fast forward through the commercials and the slow moments. That's how he watches games. That's how he's always watched games.
It's an odd life of trying to avoid.
Can't look at your phone.
Can't look at your phone.
Can't look at results.
Don't tweet.
If a basketball game starts at 7 p.m., he will start it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Make sure that it's going to be over by the time he gets to the end so he can continually fast forward through the whole game.
I don't think I knew that.
That's interesting.
That's an LO staple right there. Now, here, it was just a little bit delayed. I told him, this is usual for you. You're watching the game on about an 8-minute delay.
Yeah.
You just have other people watching right next to you on a no delay.
Well, and you could hear the yells and groans from in the other room. But
I am interested tomorrow in seeing what Joe looks like.
Me too.
He was working on a lot of things this spring. He got a new breaking ball that he was kind of working on, more of a sweeper versus the slider.
Pulled it together there at the end.
Looked good in his final Cactus League start. And the health-wise, obviously coming off that, up and down choppy season that started with the kettlebell incident, the shoulder injury, diving while on a rehab start, and then ending early with, shoulder again later in the season for Joe. See how the health looks, see how sharp he looks. They're going to need both Joe and you to eat a lot of innings and be the number 1 and 2 guys, along with, Dylan Cease, obviously, but they're not going to go very far if either Joe or Yu Darvish has a really bad season. So far, so good. I liked what I saw from you today. If Joe can back it up, even if the Padres don't win, you can take positives out of seeing guys in the starting rotation look like you want them to see in the first couple of games. So I'm going to keep a very close eye, as I'm sure most Padres fans will, on Joe Musgrove in the game tomorrow.
Based on his last spring training outing and the stuff that he did, and he seems fine. He seems fine. I think there was a little cause for concern. We talked to him at spring training, and he, in his own Joe way, was like, it kind of sucks. You always want to go out there and shove. But when you're working on something new, I got to be patient with it. And that guy knows what he's doing. He is as pro gets. Expecting a big game from him tomorrow.
So when we come back, our first Padres wrap-up of the season.
Oh, we have a new...
And while, yes, it's of a losing game, we have a brand new losing open for the Padres wrap-up that Paulie created. And I know a lot of you, if you were Talking to Joey Votto here on 97.3 The Fan.
You guys have a strong
So we have not forgotten the 5th annual Tournament of Drops. And in our 9 o'clock hour, 9:20, I believe, we will announce our Final Four. We had our Elite Eight matchups yesterday. The voting's been going on for the past 24 hours, and I think the winners should be in. So we will reveal our Final Four for our Tournament of Drops and give you the last 2 matchups before the championship, which will be tomorrow.
Man.
Yeah,
and
then, surprises. Yep.
And then we will have the winner crowned on Friday to wrap up the week of the 5th annual Tournament of Drops, joining the 4 previous champions of our favorite sound bites and funny clips that Paulie plays throughout the year. I had someone who came up to me that was mad that Carving Guy wasn't back in the field this year, and I said,
how it works.
Carving Guy had his chance in the 4th annual Tournament of Drops, didn't win.
He had like 42 entries.
Yeah, you don't get another bite at the apple. It's the year that we first bring the drop to the show that you're eligible for the Tournament of Drops.
We've already got some bangers set up for next year. I mean, we've had some in the last 2 weeks or something that have been insane after we did the seeding. So can't wait. And when are we doing that?
9:20 in our final hour coming up. We're also still giving away some more Padres tickets here at 9 o'clock. If you're not at 7 Mile Casino or within that 7-minute window, you can still get here, get your name into the drawing for some Padres tickets for the April 2nd game against the who are they playing in that game?
Cardinals.
The Cardinals, when it's 97.3 The Fan Poncho giveaway night. And Ben Woods and Paul will be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch at Petco Park on April 2nd. So looking forward to that. Also looking forward to hearing Paulie's new open for our Padres wrap-up, the very first one of the season.
Would have liked to wait a little bit longer to use the loss.
We have one for wins, one for losses.
I'm just hoping we get to hear the win open really, really soon and not like, in a week or two, we get to hear the win open.
Yeah.
But you'll get to hear the new loss open right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Damick.
Got a few things that might slow you down. Hit and run crash on southbound 805 before Governor. Got a couple vehicles involved there. Over to the right shoulder in the North County, southbound 15, just past Gopher Canyon. Accident involving a car and a pickup truck. Everything's over to the right shoulder. We still have this crash involving a motorcycle northbound 15 to the westbound 78. That's over to the right shoulder. And another crash involving a motorcycle west 78, Twin Oaks Valley Road. Looks at the Twin Oaks on-ramp block as well as that right lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
Oh, a shame indeed.
It's a complete crap.
Oh, I did not like that.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
Are you kidding me?
Boo.
It's the Padres wrap-up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
It's not your fault.
Runners go. The 3-2 pitch. Muncy swings and misses. Strike 3. And Darvish strikes him out to get out of the jam. No runs, a hit, and L.A. leaves them loaded. A 1 line into center field. That's going to get down in a base hit. Xander Bogaerts, an RBI single to bring home the first run of 2024. And the Padres lead the Dodgers 1-0. Here's the pitch from Darvish. And Hayward swings, hits it in the air to right field straight away. And plenty deep. Fernando will make the catch. Going to come up throwing. Here it is to the plate with Hernandez tagging and not in time. A sac fly for Jason Hayward in a 1-1 game here in the 4th. Here's in the 0-2 pitch. Campusano grounds it up the middle. Betts charges it short. Underhand a second one. Lux's turn is in time. A double play, but Manny comes in to score. And the Padres back in front. It's 2-1. Matsui, long pause. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Yuki Matsui's first career strikeout as he takes care of the pinch hitter Kike Hernandez. 1, 2, 3. Lux 0 for 3. Flew out to deep left his last time. Swings at the first pitch. Grounds into the right side. Cronenworth has it go off the glove into right field. Hernandez rounding third. On his way, he will score. And for the first time tonight, the Dodgers lead. It's 3-2.
That's just bad luck for Cronenworth. This ball actually goes through his glove. He's walking off the field right now to get a new glove.
The ball's and 2 strikes to Mookie Betts. Morehone delivers and a hard hit grounder to the left side. That's going to find its way into left field into base hit. Outman rounding third on his way. Zokar's throw cut by Wade. An RBI single for Mookie Betts on an 0-2 pitch. And the Dodgers now lead at 4-2. This pitch, Ohtani swings, lines it sharply into left center field. That'll drop down for another base hit. Lux is rounding third. He'll score easily. Shohei Ohtani's first RBI as a Dodger, and now 5-2 Los Angeles. 1-1. Campusano, high chopper over the mound, charged by Lux near the bag at second. He's got it. Throw to first is in time, and the ball game is over. A 1-2-3, bottom of the ninth, turned in by Evan Phillips as the Dodgers come from behind and beat the Padres here tonight by a final of 5-2. The first ever major league game played in Seoul, Korea is won by the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I mean, we pitched our tail off to get to that point. Threw together a lot of at-bats, a lot of deep counts, ran through some guys. And, it's a 2-2 game. It's a double play ball. Goes through his web. We're still tied, maybe still playing. So, didn't go our way.
Manager of the San Diego Padres, now 0-1 in his Padres career as skipper. But guess who sounded like they were in mid-season form? Jesse and Tony right on top of that play. Hard to see from the press box, but right on top of that Jake Cronenworth ball that went through his glove there in the eighth inning as the Dodgers rallied for 4 runs to take the 5-2 win over the Padres in the Seoul Series opener from South Korea.
Let's be honest, the skipper sounds in mid-season form too, with the just didn't go our way. That's about mid-season.
That's
form.
True.
Yeah.
We have some more.
Definitely on the bingo board.
That's
right?
on the bingo board.
The bingo board. We have some more sound from Mike Schilt, and I think one thing you can question, and you did it while we were watching the game here at 7 Mile. Adrian Morejon into the game in a key situation. Lefty on lefty facing Gavin Lux, I believe, at that point. But unless you get the double play, and he did get the grounder and a little bad luck, but unless you get the double play, he's got to stay in for Mookie Betts at the top of the order. Mookie, who hits left-handers just so epically well. Was that a misplay in the bullpen usage by Mike Schilt in his first game? Are you asking too much of Adrian Morejon to know he has to really get a double play? Or are you putting the Dodgers in a great position for a multi-run inning there?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of opened the show with it, and I want the best for Adrian Morejon because we've said this, like a broken record. The stuff is there. The command sometimes is not. Maybe the mental side of the game is not. When I see him, he doesn't look like a guy that feels confident in getting outs. And to have him in that situation, I don't want to say mismanagement necessarily. I do know that Mike Schilt knows Adrian Morejon. I'm always going to defer to the skipper and his decisions, always, no matter who it is. If it's Jace Tingler, if it's Mike Schilt, if it's anybody else, they know their players better than I do, certainly. But we've seen the track record of Adrian Morejon. To me, he just feels like a guy that should come in, maybe try to get a couple of left-handers back to back, maybe late in a game or middle of the game, up 4, down 4, whatever. Like there's a spot for guys like that, and you don't win championships without guys that can do that. To have him in that situation, I don't want to say mismanagement, but I will say I was very surprised to see him. And again, there's no trust built up really with anybody in that bullpen as far as Mike Schilt goes as their manager. That will come. I don't think you'll see it tomorrow. I don't think you'll see Adrian Morejon coming in a big spot tomorrow, and maybe not next week.
So, yeah, the situation was he came in, and it was Gavin Lux, then Mookie Betts, then Shohei Ohtani. So two lefties and a righty, but that righty is so good against lefties. Mike Schilt, 7 different relievers used, went to maybe some of his higher leverage guys early, like Matsui and Peralta a little bit early.
I mean, you'd love to have had a Matsui or Peralta there, but maybe you needed them to get you to that point.
And it worked earlier in the game. Here's what Mike Schilt had to say about his bullpen usage in game 1 of the season.
Listen, we're sitting there going for it. Got a 2-1 lead, take our shot at it. And tomorrow we got Joe and, King can, pitch as well, obviously. So we've got some length right there, and we've got some guys that we do think can come back based on pitch count. Not going to push guys, so we'll, take their temperature obviously tomorrow. And we still got some guys that didn't throw today, Kolick and, Suarez, and so we'll be back and ready to go.
I think, and I think I like that. I mean, I think we've been calling for that for years on this show of don't be afraid to use more high leverage guys if the situation dictates it earlier in the game, in the 6th. I mean, it happens all the time where you're like, managers aren't pigeonholed anymore going, well, he's my 7th inning guy. I got to go with him here. No, I like the fact that he's trying some different things there. Maybe having a Peralta waiting for that moment would have been better than using him when he did. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe one move too many. having Wandy Peralta there, I feel more comfortable with Wandy Peralta going to get Lux, Betts, and Ohtani and Freeman than I do Adrian Morejon, certainly.
It's the ultimate second guess, obviously, because if you put in a Morejon earlier in the game and he gives up the lead,
my question
you may never get it back again.
My question, though, ultimately is why Morejon? Not why was he in the game, but why continue to get opportunities? It makes me wonder, and I understand, man, you've invested a lot of money and a lot of time in Adrian Morejon. Is he your best option in the organization?
Well, I don't think they wanted to. Ideally, the Dodgers came up in the top of the 7th, down 2-1, with Betts coming up. So if you can go 3 up, 3 down the final 3 innings, you don't have to face the 3 MVPs at the top of their order twice. Now, that's a lot to ask from any bullpen. And, they got Peralta in the 7th. He got through that inning. Then they brought in Brito, right? Peralta got the first. He walked Muncy to start the 8th, and then they pulled him out for Brito. And Brito immediately gave up the single to Teoscar Hernandez and walked Outman. So you brought Brito in after you had been starting him all spring in a situation with a runner on in an 8th inning. That was also a bit of an interesting usage when you're trying to get all the way through those innings. Would it have been better to – you want the lefty on the lefty, I guess, with Muncy. You're going matchups there, but you also didn't give Brito a clean inning to come into because of that walk by Wandy Peralta, which I believe also included – another pitch clock violation.
Yep.
And that was another of the story of the game, 4 pitch clock violations on the Padres. It was also a game that took over 3 hours to play. We didn't see a lot of that last year with the pitch clock rules in place. Games moved along a little bit faster. After the game, Mike Schilt was asked about just kind of the weird flow of the game against the Dodgers.
In between where it was a good baseball game, a lot of moving parts to it. Hugh battled, got through, got through that base loaded jam. Goes back out, went with some damage, and got to his pitch count. Again, they threw some good at bats on him, ran it up a little bit. Then the bullpen did a nice job, coming in, Cosgrove, and we were in that situation where clearly in the 4th went our bullpen. So we used our matchups, used our lefties. De Los Santos was good, in that in between where we couldn't quite extend 2 guys too far, based on where we're at still in basically a spring training mode. But a lot of good things. 2-1 lead, just couldn't quite get to our guy in the 9th.
Yeah, it's a point that sounds like excuse making a little bit. Still kind of in that spring training mode, but it was managed probably different than you will see most games in the regular season managed because you don't have your starters available for anywhere close to 100 pitches. Your bullpen is in a different spot than it's going to be with the usage with King and Musgrove available tomorrow. It's more of an all hands on deck. It's kind of a hybrid between a spring game and a playoff game that counts in the regular season is what they were doing in yesterday's game, Wood. So, yeah, it's not that representative probably of how Mike Schilt is going to use his bullpen all year, but it counts in the standings, and they're 0-1.
Yeah, Estrada looked pretty good.
Back to Morejon, it sounded like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Maybe you're a little fussy or tired.
I am fussy.
It sounds like you were really wondering what's he doing on the roster.
Yeah.
Not even really in that spot or in that game or anything like that. Are we done with the Morejon experiment?
Are you ever done with a pitcher who is left-handed and throws 99?
When did he throw 99 today?
Not today, but he can touch 98, 99.
Yeah, but how many?
It's tough to give up on those guys.
The answer to that question is it's not my decision to make. I just know that he's not super effective as a pitcher.
Which
is fairly important.
We were sitting down at dinner last night when the roster came out, and all three of us like,
whoa, yeah, 100%. And that's a lineup construction thing as well. That is Mike Schilt told us. My job is to get the most out of the guys that they give me. He's not making those decisions.
Yeah, AJ Preller signed Adrian Morejon for a lot of money, if I remember, and probably feels a little more invested in him than maybe the rest of us do at this point. In his success and how it reflects on his judgment as a GM and a talent evaluator. He wants Adrian Morejon to be a ball player. And if he's not, and he ends up being a good pitcher for another team, it looks even worse for the Padres. So Morejon's kind of put the Padres in a tough and AJ in a tough no-win situation here.
It's like at 5 years in, has the Tiger shown his stripes, or is he miraculously going to unlock some dog inside him, some beast inside him that refuses to give up a hit to a left-hander? Because listen, the error, the ball going through the glove, that's an unfortunate thing. There's a saying in baseball, though, so what? Get the next one. Get the next one. And he didn't, and he doesn't, and he hasn't, and maybe he will, but, resting your hope on the maybe is really, really tough to do. And I feel for the kid. I absolutely do, because I can't imagine what it would be like to have that kind of stuff and not be super effective at the big league level. So I hope that they find a role where he feels more comfortable in. There's there's positives today, certainly, out of the bullpen. I think Estrada was a positive, struck out 2 in 1 inning of work. So, yeah. Guys,
got himself into trouble, but got himself out of that trouble in the 9th inning, yeah.
The guys are going to be slotted in here, in a couple of weeks. We're going to kind of know, okay, Schilt normally would go to so-and-so here or so-and-so here. Today was interesting. It was, I don't want to say he was throwing stuff at the wall to see what clicks. I liked the aggressive moves early. I will praise being aggressive early to try to hold a lead. I will always praise that. We've been begging for that. We've been begging for that as the hosts of this radio show. Hey, man, how many conversations do we have about Josh Hader? Like, maybe should have used him in the 7th, when they had their big guns coming up. We ended up losing that game because we went to whoever else. So I liked that a lot. And I hope to see more of that just with the right guys that works for us.
All right, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. This hour on 97.3 The Fan brought to you by Ashley Furniture. And, it's also brought to you by the UPS store. This is a weird liner here.
It's a combo.
It's kind of comboed. I've got copy now, I realize, for UPS store, but it says Ashley Furniture.
That's
so
embarrassing.
Why don't I just hold off on that one?
Hold on. We'll get that
I'll read
sorted
this
out.
one. All right. Brought to you by your local San Diego County the UPS store. Your local San Diego County the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event from March 27th through March 30th. 50% off shredding services. Visit the UPSstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. I am Ron Burgundy. If you put it in front of me,
you really are.
I'm going to read it exactly as it is written. That's just the way it goes. All right, we'll come back. Paulie's going to do a Rindle report. Really good start to the NCAA tournament for the Mountain West last night. If you weren't paying attention to that, a couple other headlines and more next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. We're live at 7 Mile. Final hour of Ben and Woods. We've talked a lot about FOMO in this last week, fear of missing out on the trip to Korea, fear of missing out on our great appearance today at 7 Mile Casino and all the tier ones that turned out. It was an incredible scene at 2:30 a.m.
They're still here. It's insane.
And so many of them are still here, and we're going to give you some FOMO if you're not here, because we're going to give away right now on the air some Padres tickets to a tier one who is in attendance. Woodsy's got the hopper.
I got the hopper.
Going to read the name of our winner. This is for the April 2nd game against the Cardinals, and he's putting on his glasses because he can't see anymore.
Eduardo Leonoff. Boom.
There he is. Eduardo in the Padres hat back there. Congratulations. See our promotion staff right here. They'll get you hooked up with the tickets for the Padres game against the St. Louis Cardinals on April the 2nd. It is 97.3 The Fan. Poncho night for all fans in attendance. You probably have seen it in the Padres promotional video for the season. Very cool item. Very unique giveaway item. I don't think I've ever seen any other team give away a poncho that before.
I don't think I've ever seen a poncho that I wanted to wear before until we got the one when they brought it in, and I loved it. And I will see myself rocking it around the house. Maybe nothing underneath, to be honest with you. just the poncho. I think it's a good look for me. I think the missus would probably approve as well.
They announced the opening day starters for the rest of Major League Baseball as well
they
already.
did?
Yeah, for next Thursday.
Here we go. Baseball's back, apparently.
Some of the interesting matchups include Zach Wheeler against Spencer Strider as the Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. Corbin Burns, who was, of course, the ace for Milwaukee, will make his Orioles debut against the Angels in that game.
I will say I probably bet on the first 9 Corbin Burns starts of last year, and I think I went 0 for 9. So I'm going to be a little bit hesitant to bet on Corbin Burns, even in a new league, new team. I don't know what the hell happened to that guy in those first 9 starts, but it was not fun for your old pal Wood.
It's never a good sign if your opening day starter is an anonymous pitcher. I mean, even the A's have Alex Wood to start on opening day.
We've heard of him.
The Rockies have Kyle Freeland. He's not great, but we've heard of him at least. You got some, Cy Young winners and candidates. Zach Gallen is going to go up against Freeland. Justin Steele's going to pitch for the Cubs. I think he was in the top 3 of voting behind Blake Snell last year. Got names like Shane Bieber. You got Framber Valdez pitching. But the Chicago White Sox, after trading away Dylan Cease, had to go with a guy who will make his first career start. 24-year-old Garrett Crochet, like knitting.
Crotchet,
Crochet. They didn't have a lot to choose from after trading Dylan Cease. That has got to be one of the most anonymous rotations in all of baseball. And they're going with a guy who's never even made a start on opening day for them this season. The White Sox are going to go up against... it doesn't say there. Let's see. Opening day against the...
It's not that important. I'm just going to say, watch him go out and win. And
it's baseball.
Shove that day.
It's absolutely baseball. Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
Tariq Skubal.
He's amazing. So actually, I would take Detroit in that one. But it's weird. It's a weird start to the season with us being the only games that count, certainly, and then having the lag few days. What are you guys expecting to see out of these games against the Mariners at Petco Park? Like what is it? Is it going to be the 30-man, the 26?
Well, I assume you'll see some of the pitchers like Waldron get some more work, because they'll
some of the 4
you want to
5s,
keep them set up for their next turn in the rotation, which should come the 4th or 5th game.
So you'll see maybe if Avila is still here, maybe an Avila gets a look.
Yeah.
Guys like that.
I would think so.
And then a couple of ABs for the regulars.
Yeah, I don't know if they're bringing back some of the guys from spring training at that point. We may see some of the younger guys. Maybe Ethan Salas comes back and gets a game at Petco Park.
That'd be awesome.
Which would be cool for fans to get an opportunity to see him. They've all moved on to their minor league teams at this point.
Well, it's funny, too, because the Mariners are using these games as we got to get ready for the season. Like, these are our... get our regulars some real ABs and in a big league ballpark.
9-inning test game.
Yeah,
and maybe the Padres take one of them kind of seriously and the other one a little more of the youngsters. I don't know.
So odd.
We'll ask Mike Schilt when he comes back how that's going to look. But right now, let's give Paulie the floor and get him some headlines here in the Rindle Report and get things started here with our today's edition of the Rindle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. All right.
All right.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Paulie.
Yeah, we've been up for 7
hours.
hours almost.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah, about
7
7
hours
hours.
now. It doesn't feel like morning anymore.
No,
No.
it does not.
Feels like late afternoon.
I will be going home and going straight to bed.
I'm going to start campaigning for a 2-hour show
Adam.
because I'm out of gas.
All right, gentlemen. We have been very heavy on the baseball today,
Indeed.
but March Madness is rolling on. We got the
Upon
first
us.
weekend starting tomorrow. Really, the big games all start tomorrow and Friday. On to the next round Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll know who is in the Sweet 16. But we did have some action yesterday in college basketball. Number 16 seeded Wagner and number 16 seeded Howard. They played each other, and it was at a play-in game, I think, in the West region.
I knew Howard Wagner. Used to do my taxes. There's some chuckles. There's some chuckles out
Those
there.
are pity.
You're
chuckles.
embarrassed,
Pity
but I
chuckle.
heard them.
That's a pity
I
chuckle.
heard them.
Wagner won 71-68.
All right.
And then in the other game, Colorado State, Mountain West action, they took down Virginia 67-42.
Sounds like somebody felt a little bit disrespected.
My
so,
God.
So there's 2 kind of schools of thought in this game, that the Mountain West may have been vastly underseeded, as some of them claim. No one expected double-digit seeds, and yet half the Mountain West teams got double-digit seeds in the tournament. So, 2 of them in the play-in game, including Boise State, they have to play today.
Mm-hmm.
And Colorado State went and took a former national champion team in Virginia to the woodshed. They held them to 14 points in the first half. Virginia had a stretch from the middle of the first half to the start of the second half when they missed 19 consecutive shots and went an actual 51 minutes between baskets when you include halftime.
That's unreal.
They went in real time.
Including the
in
time.
real time, they went 51 minutes
Almost an
between
hour.
baskets. I mean, we've seen the Aztecs go through some shooting slumps, but I don't think any of them lasted almost
The Aztecs
an
will go 4
hour
minutes, and it's
long.
like, this is an eternity.
51 minutes between baskets for the Cavaliers. It's a loss that was so bad that Tony Bennett, their coach, they're actually rethinking. They said, we're going to rethink our entire system at this point.
We're actually thinking about getting rid of basketball altogether here.
I know
They
we just
w-
won a national championship 3 years ago,
Yeah.
but
They were one of the teams, too, that people were pissed got in even to the play-in game.
Yeah, a
People
lot,
were like,
lot
there's
of
no
thought they should have been
business.
left on the
Yeah,
bubble and
100%.
not in the tournament. Give a team like Indiana State or St.
Yes,
John's
yes.
a chance in the tourney as opposed to a very mediocre. It was like watching the worst version of the Aztecs from 4 years ago when they were just so bad in some of those offensive games. Great defense.
Yep.
Virginia's always got a great defense, but couldn't stop Colorado State from putting up how many points? 667? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a normal offensive output, and Virginia is one of the best defensive teams in the country. Could this mean good things for the Mountain West going forward, that they've got some teams that can beat? They were finished 3rd in the ACC, Virginia did.
Yeah.
And they got bodied by one of just kind of the regular Mountain West teams. Probably a positive sign for the Mountain West in the NCAA tournament.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. You said a lot of people upset that Virginia even got in. There was also a lot of people upset here locally, and I think for pretty good reason. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that I watched a ton of all the other teams in college basketball, but I did watch a lot.
Anything you need to know, just ask me.
Okay,
I'll
I will.
tell you. Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
But I did watch a lot of the Aztecs this year, and I watched a lot of Jaden Ledee, and I thought for sure, without having a ton of knowledge about the rest of the star players across the country, he was at least a fringe first team, second team All-American.
Second team at minimum.
Right.
At minimum.
Minimum.
This shocked me yesterday when you told me.
Yeah, the All-America teams came out yesterday from the AP All-America, and Jaden Ledee came on appeared on the third team All-American, which I mean, it's better than not being recognized at all, I guess.
So
But
the way
I thought that was BS.
The way they do it, he was the highest vote getter on the third team. He just missed.
the
It was
second.
the borderline between the second and the third team. And by the way, He's the only player west of like Kansas that was an All-American. He had the most votes of anyone west of Kansas. His Caleb Love was on Arizona, but he got fewer votes than Jaden Ledee is. So he clearly is the best basketball player on the West Coast, and he's only the fourth Aztec to ever be an All-American. The other three were Michael Cage, Kawhi Leonard, and Malachi Flynn. They were all second-teamers. I thought he probably should have been second team at least, but third team is great.
Obviously, I'm biased.
You know what,
man, watching that guy play all season long, I'm like, he is one of the best players in the country.
As someone who was a second team all SCIAC my senior year in golf, you know what you tell people when they ask how you did in your athletic career? I was all league.
All league.
Jaden Ledee will always say, I was an All-American. He doesn't have to say third team. He doesn't have to say second team. I was an All-American in college.
I won most team spirit for 7th grade YMCA basketball. The notoriously given out to the worst player of the team. It was like most teams sort of heart and hustle or something like that. Best teammate. Yeah.
I won most improved on my 7th grade
also
basketball team, which is a consolation prize. And it was almost entirely due to the fact that during a practice one day, I was running the offense, and I told the guy who was playing forward, do a back cut on this play, and I will feed you for an easy layup. And I did. And the coach just like raved about my vision. And like, you see that? That's how you
three plays ahead.
He was telling the starters, that's how you do it. Watch how this guy does it. And it goes, I just walked over and said, just do a back cut here. I'm going to throw it right to you. And
that won you that award.
And that won me, I think, the most improved player award.
Amazing.
Right
I can't even picture in my head a Ben Higgins like
I was short
commanding
in
the basketball.
I was shorter in 7th grade. I didn't grow. I was actually one of the like smaller guys on the team.
Yeah, I can
back then. So I wasn't a good ball handler though, so they never put me in the game.
Most improved is a huge.
It's it's
not. You used to be terrible. You're still
terrible,
but you're less terrible.
Less terrible now.
Right.
All right. Finally, anybody
most improved radio show? No.
Ours?
No, I hope not.
Yeah.
No.
God, no.
We don't want that.
First team All-American, buddy.
All right, and then finally, anybody here on the show know any real estate agents?
I do. I'm married to one.
Okay.
Yep.
So hopefully this does not happen to her.
Okay.
Reading a story here. Now, this actually happened a couple of years ago, but there was a court case that was just recently settled. So the story is back in the news about a Australian real estate agent who was showing a home, and she burned the home to the ground. Ooh. I don't know that that's something you want to do. I don't know how that's going to affect the resale value.
Did she toss another shrimp on the bobby and then she forgot to turn the bobby off?
I can't do
45 minutes. 45.
Adam.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Are Craig and Annie there? Can they start now?
Yeah, they're getting preempted, I think, at some point. So you can just put them on 30 minutes early. If that would be fine. I've got to get out of here. I'm going to lose my mind.
Sorry, you're a moron.
I haven't played that drop in about 4 years.
How'd she do it? Cigarettes?
So she actually did throw something. So
she threw something
on the Barbie.
No,
threw a cigarette down.
On the light bulb. So she was kind of examining the house, getting ready to show it, and she noticed that in the backyard there were was it sheets, some bedding that was hang drying on a line, and she's like, that doesn't look good. We're trying to show this house.
Yeah, take it down
for an open house. So she took it down and she went downstairs and just kind of threw the bedding onto a shelf that was very close to a lamp.
Yeah,
and
caught fire.
20 minutes later, she turned the light on to light up the room, the basement. 20 minutes later, a major fire breaks out.
Oh, my God.
Most of the house, it burned down to the studs.
Oh, my God.
And it was determined by the fire department it started because of the bedding, the basement light. It was heating the blankets that were like up against the bulb.
Yeah.
And it was too hot. Started this big fire.
You take a 3% commission on the insurance payments.
Right.
Yeah.
She called, the real estate agent called the owners of the house and said, oh, my God, I think I've burnt down your house. I think. She even suggested that it was probably the bedding that did it.
Oh, my
And
God.
in court, the owners argued that she was to blame, but she was
pretty good argument.
She was arguing that the renters were to blame because she wasn't aware that the lamp would heat up that much or something. And in the end, the court ruled that the real estate agents. She was at fault, saying that she created the risk of fire and the consequent harm. The company that she worked for they were ordered to pay damages to both the homeowner and the renters who lost all of their belongings in the fire.
Oh, the double whammy.
Well, yeah, it was being rented out at the time, so they had all their stuff in it. And then there's the guy that owns the house that was trying to sell it. It's just a nightmare.
It was an accident. It was an accident.
I would like to say that would never happen, but I can't tell you how many times I've come home from like a Seals game at 11 o'clock and I walk in and there's a candle burning in my kitchen and I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? And then I blow it out. And then the next morning I get chewed out for blowing it out and not putting the cap on because I burned the wick incorrectly. I'm like, you almost burned the house down, but you're mad at me because I blew out the candle. Which, by the way, when I was raised, you light a candle, you blow out a candle. Light a candle, blow out a candle. Not now. You put the cap on. They do it a certain way.
Right.
So yeah. I guess I could see my missus doing something like that. Thank you, Paulie. Appreciate it.
That's going to be a real hit to the resume.
No doubt.
All right. Well, everyone is excited about the NCAA tournament. We're excited about our Tournament of Drops. The 5th annual Tournament of Drops reaches the Final Four.
Dude,
when we come back, we will
the one seeds.
Reveal the results of our Elite 8 matchups yesterday and set up the 2 Final Four matchups that you can vote on when we come back with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic and Kelly here on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, howdy, friends. It is Woodsy one more time. Wanted to tell you about Sedano Ford. Actually, my mother-in-law is purchasing and started to build her brand new Ford truck yesterday, and she is so excited. They're taking good care of her over at Manny Sedano Ford, local and veteran owned. Get ready for March Insanity. Their spring sale fling is here with unbeatable lease deals. Now, she's going to buy hers, but to lease a car or truck over there, super duper easy to do. The iconic Ford F-150 Super Crew STX, imagine this, just $224 a month, or the Ford Bronco Sport Big Ben, just $238 a month. That is nothing. If you like the electric Ford Mustang, like I said, there's one in my neighborhood. I love it. I see it every day. The Ford Mustang Mach-E Premium, just $310 a month. So do not miss out on these insane March lease specials during Sedano Ford's spring sale fling. And again, a local veteran-owned dealership. Manny and his team truly appreciate your business and support. Check out SedanoFord.com to check out all the inventory today, or head on down to their beautiful facility there in La Mesa. Go see them in person at Sedano Ford. Also, again, check out their website, SedanoFord.com. Check out all the inventory that they have down there. They're going to take good care of you. When you pop in, they're going to ask you, hey, what brought you in today? And say, my old pal Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan sent me down here. It's Sedano Ford, SedanoFord.com.
Hey, it's Ben Higgins here, and I want to thank everybody as I've been walking through a 7 Mile Casino. A lot of people saying nice things about how I look and the weight that I've lost. I appreciate it. 40 pounds in 60 days, and I've kept it off now for 7 months thanks to sdfatloss.com, and I lost it without any hormones, drugs, or injections. I don't feel great about those kind of things, and I loved eating real foods, chicken, steak, vegetables, berries, every single day. Lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days if you follow the program. So don't make excuses. Make the call. 858-665-3211. Call him to set up a free, no-obligation consultation or check him out online at sdfatloss.com. No exercise required. I did very minimal exercise over the 60 days. They really tell you, back off, let the diet do its thing, and when you're done, you're going to feel better. The energy doesn't really go down, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want. You're going to feel good about yourself. It is such a life changer. No prepackaged meals to buy. They're not going to keep asking you need to buy these bars, you need to buy these mixes and supplements. One program, get it started. Just follow what they say, use their counselors, and watch the weight come off. It did for me. I hope it will for you as well. Call 858-665-3211. Again, set up that free consultation or go online to sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Going to give away some more tickets, I believe, to comedian Jim Norton coming to Belly Up here in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. We've had a great time today.
Feel that nice breeze
here
coming
at
off
Sammy's.
the bay.
Yeah, the Bay Breeze is
like
in
a nice
effect.
breeze.
I like a nice breeze, too.
It's giving you just enough pep in your step to get to the end of the show,
I
hopefully.
needed that, man. That feels good.
Woods was fussy at the start. Exhausted at
Did
the
you guys
end.
hear that?
Fussy?
Yeah.
I said
Oh my
fussy.
God.
You said fussy.
Write that so we can pull that tomorrow. I want to hear that.
I didn't. I don't think I said anything incorrect.
You didn't, but it scared me to my heart leapt in my chest.
All right, but right now it is time to reveal
that mother fussy.
Reveal the results from the Elite 8 round of our tournament of drops. We narrowed the field down from the first 32 down to the final 8, and your votes have taken it down to just 4 remaining drops in contention for the championship. So yesterday we had 4 matchups on the top left of our bracket, the explicit regional final.
Your favorite.
We had the number 1 seed
It's the overall number one seed.
Hey there, Delilah, from our visit to Explicit.
Oh, my God.
Right there. Going up against the 6th seed, our traffic reporter, Kelly Danik.
And someone didn't secure their load of gravel.
Pull the levels down on that just a touch, Adam. Thank you very much.
And in a convincing win with 72.8% of the vote in the Elite 8, the winner of the Explicit region of our Tournament of Drops bracket is...
And someone didn't secure their load of gravel.
Wow. Strong performance from Kelly Danik, moving into the Final Four.
People like their loads secure, that's for sure.
All right, now moving down to the regional final of our baseball region. It featured the number 1 seed, the Padres legend, Goose Gossage from Fantasy Camp, pointing directly at me.
You're a nerd, too.
Yep, Goose calling me a nerd, going up against a spring training drop, Manny Machado, the 6th seed.
What up, crew?
And the winner, and advancing to the Final Four from the baseball region with 64.5% of the vote was...
You're a nerd, too.
Goose Gossage.
That's Padres fans voting for the best drops, not the player they love
the one seed goes into the Final Four.
Goose, the 1 seed, taking on Kelly Danik, the 6th seed in the Final
big
Four
matchup.
matchup.
Moving over to the right side of our bracket, we had in the regional final for the anatomy region, we had the number 1 seed, Woods' son Taylor, going up against the number 2 seed, Milwaukee Hotel Talk from yours truly.
Sure.
Fister? Yeah, absolutely.
And the winner with 51.2% of the vote, I think our most voted on matchup of the day was...
Fister? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
wow. Taylor is out. It will not be a Woods Child victory this year.
Man,
for the second time.
Gone.
So the 2 seed upsets the 1 seed. And now in the regional final of the wild card region, our bottom right section of the bracket, we had another 1 seed and another Ben drop.
Ding-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling.
That's the sound you don't hear at 7 Mile Casino or the slot machines.
Correct.
Going up against the number 3 seed, Toronto Raptors head coach Darko.
It's a complete crap.
And the winner of the wild card regional final with 57.8% of the vote was...
It's a complete crap.
Darko moves on.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Not only the winner, but also into our losing Padres wrap-up montage, as I heard this morning for the first time. So, again, that brings us to our Final Four, and we're going to put up the matchups post-haste. On the left side of our bracket, we have, in the semifinals, the 6th seed from the Explicit region, Kelly Danik.
And someone didn't secure their load of gravel.
Against the 1 seed from the baseball region, Goose Gossage.
You're a nerd, too.
Kelly against Goose on the left side of the bracket. And then over on the right side of the bracket, the number 2 seed from the anatomy region.
Fister? Yeah, absolutely.
Going up against the number 3 seed from the wild card region.
It's a complete crap.
I mean, this is amazing.
That's a tough.
2 really good matchups in the Final Four.
So my 3-year-old Taylor is going to, his confidence is now shattered because his brother has won 2 or 1. He's won 1. The very first one.
I've been a parent, and here's what you say to Taylor. Next time, do better.
Next time, do better.
Next time, do better.
I mean, he lost to Bo saying F you. So, I mean, that's pretty
Maybe
good.
he needs to get a little raunchier in his drops moving
That's true.
forward if he'd like to. I mean, there's always the 6th annual tournament of drops.
Yeah.
Work hard
No shortage.
all year long.
No shortage
Come
of
up with a
curse
great
words.
drop, and
Yep.
maybe you'll be next year's champion. But
Yep.
this year, Taylor, sorry.
Poor kid.
Sorry, it's not going to happen
got
for you
about,
this year.
He's got about 350 days to get a new drop into the mix for next year.
Hey, we're more than open to take Taylor's drop suggestions if he'd like to make
Okay.
some.
Yep, for sure.
But right now, it's not going to happen for him this year. So go to our Twitter page, our X page, at Ben and Woods. There will be 2 matchups there for you to vote on, the semifinals, and then tomorrow the winners will square off in our 5th annual Tournament of Drops Championship.
Yeah, crown it.
And Friday morning, we will announce the winner of the 5th annual Tournament of Drops.
Love it. It's one of my favorite bits.
All right, we will take our final timeout. We'll come back. Paulie, we had our actual predictions for Major League Baseball go on the record before the first game. So you can't change it now and say you think the Dodgers are going to win the National League West.
Oh, man.
Because they won that first game. We already put them on writing in record, so we'll go through some of our picks for the National American League, each division winner. Final segment of Ben and Woods from 7 Mile Casino coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466.
Let's see. Have you heard of 7 Mile Casino? It's this new place down in Chula Vista. We need to check it out sometime, Woods.
How about one last round of applause for our beloved 7 Mile Casino? Just always answer the bell for the Ben and Woods program and for the tier ones out here. I hope everybody had a great time. I know we did, and I'd like to do this again real soon. Not tonight, but real soon.
One of the great things about 7 Mile Casino is it's one of San Diego's true 24/7 options. We saw that tonight. It's not usually quite so crowded at 2:30 in the morning, but it's open at 2:30 in the morning.
I was dying when I walked in here at 2:30 in the morning. The dude's like literally sitting there eating Kung Pao chicken. Like, what's he look? I got the Kung Pao chicken. It was amazing. Like, again, a surreal moment. I love this place. I feel very comfortable here, and I know everybody else did too.
We got the 24/7 players menu. We got it here on the table with us. Great menu items from Sammy's all day long. Cheeseburger, BLT, breakfast items, breakfast burrito. You had some French toast earlier, I think. You got appetizers like the wings and the dumplings, the Asian favorites, of course, like the Kung Pao chicken. You even get pasta, the chicken fettuccine Alfredo. All-time Sammy's menu item, all available the late night wee hours of the day here at 7 Mile Casino.
Yeah, there's a lot to love about 7 Mile Casino. We certainly do. I'm glad you guys got to experience it. Those of you that came and those of you that didn't, you missed out. But it's not going anywhere. It's going to be open 24/7. All right, for the rest of your days. Come check it out. Just 7 minutes from downtown. It's 7 Mile Casino. Hey, guys, it is Woodsy, and I love that spring is here. A lot of people going on spring break, heading out of town for Easter. Want to make sure that your car is dialed. You know, you're loading up your family to head to grandmother's house for Easter. You're going on spring break somewhere. Make sure that your car is dialed in. It's something that you just can't neglect. Now, I wish I knew how to change my own oil. I don't have any idea how to do it. That's why I trust the pros at Valvoline to do it for me. There's one right by my house. Right now, they're also offering replacement wiper blades. It's been rainy. I think there's still more rain coming, so make sure you're dialed in there as well. Get that oil change, like a spring cleaning for your engine, and you can get your tires and battery conveniently checked at Valvoline Instant Oil Change as well. While you're getting your oil change, you don't have to get out of your car. You pull right into the bay. It takes about 15 minutes, and I'm in love with it. I'll never get my oil changed anywhere else again. There's one right by the house. Check them out and find the location nearest you. Find some discounts online as well at SoCalOilChange.com. Once again, SoCalOilChange.com. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend pulling in right into the bay. You sit, you play on your phone, you listen to the radio, you take a nap if you want to. Only takes about 15 minutes. They're open 7 days a week. Check out for yourself, SoCalOilChange.com.
Yeah, good outing by you, Darvish, in the Padres season opener in Korea, but it wasn't enough as the Dodgers rally with 4 runs in the 8th inning for a 5-2 win in Game 1 of the season, and the critical play with the score tied and the bases loaded. You had 2 runners at first and second.
Yep.
You had the ground ball from Gavin Lux to Jake Cronenworth, went right into his glove and right through his glove, through the webbing, instead of a potential inning double play. Turns into a run-scoring error. Dodgers add 2 more with Adrian Morejon on the mound and go on to that 5-2 win. A little more reaction here. Cronenworth saying after the game to the UT, I thought it was an easy double play. I caught it on the first bounce. That's the way it goes. Sucks. I don't know what else to say. Dave Roberts, reacting to that play, said, fortunate break for us. You got to take him when you can get him.
And that's the thing for them. They so rarely get the breaks. The Dodgers, yeah. It is good to see them take advantage of a break, an opportunity that comes their way. And, listen, I will say this, though. They ran themselves out of an inning, and the Padres didn't capitalize. And the Dodgers absolutely capitalized, and that's why they're the Dodgers and we're the Padres right now. And that needs to shift a little bit, and hopefully the attention to detail that has been pounded into our heads. I just hope to see a little bit better evidence of it in tonight's game, to be honest with you. And the stuff we've talked about ad nauseum today, there's nothing you can do about that. Literally nothing you can do. I mean, I felt comfortable with his glove. It's his glove. The ball was hit fairly sharply, but didn't seem like it was one that was going to rip through the glove. And it did. And they took advantage and kept scoring after that. They added on, and they're really good at it. And I will say, it's conditioned me at this point. When they got down 5-2, my mind just said that.
And those runs ended up being earned because you can't assume the double play that would have ended the inning, and 2 singles that followed also scored runs. There was one unearned run in the game from the Padres, came due to a Tyler Wade error early in the game, a throwing error, and he had this to say again to the UT. I just came in, didn't have a grip. I tried to get it again. I still didn't get a grip, and with Teoscar running, I had to rush the throw. It's unfortunate. I make that play every single time, so it's a bad situation right there. That was Tyler Wade talking about the error that led to the first Dodger run of the game that tied the game at 1 at the time. Padres still came back to take a lead, though, had the lead through 7 innings, unable to lock it down, though, and get that win. And you hate to let any games get away, obviously, but when you know that you only get, 13 cracks at the Dodgers, they're going to play well in some of them. You're certainly not going to have a chance like this in all of them. You want to take advantage of as many leads against the Dodgers that you have late in the game, because if you don't, that's how you get into a situation where you end up 2-11 or 3-10 against the Dodgers at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you in spirit and principle. I do. But also those games against the Rockies that you're up 2-1, you need to win those games too.
True.
You absolutely do. You need to take advantage of opportunities. And like Mike Schultz said, didn't go their way today, certainly, and that's a freaky, fluky play. But if you want to look at, again, 4 singles, Glasnow is really tough. Their bullpen's really tough, but to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you got to beat them, continuously, and take advantage when you have an opportunity. And they didn't do that today, and made some pretty gnarly mental mistakes with the violations and stuff. So hopefully that stuff gets cleaned up ASAP.
Annie Elston coming up at the top of the hour. Before that, though, we're going to check traffic and go through some of our MLB predictions for the year. Paulie put together a great graphic. See where we agree, disagree on the 2024 season coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. You can find all of our 2024 MLB predictions. You posted this on our social media channels.
Going up
right now. So we picked each division in order of finish, predicted order of finish, then a NL and AL champion, a World Series champion, plus MVPs in each league. And there was a lot of uniformity in a lot of our picks. For instance, we all think the Atlanta Braves are going to win the NL East again, and they'll be followed up by the Philadelphia Phillies. I at least put the Marlins in third again, and that's pretty much just a nod to Skip Schumacher getting way more than he should out of that team.
They've lost 6 starting pitchers as they usually do.
They are operating certainly behind the 8 ball, but the Mets didn't do anything drastic in the offseason and had a bad year last year. We all have the Nationals finishing in last place in that division. In the AL East, Paulie and I both chose the Yankees. You went with the Orioles.
Yeah, I think the Garrett Cole situation's pretty gnarly. I think Aaron Judge is a little bit banged up. Verdugo hasn't done much. Rodon is a huge question mark. I think the Orioles, I think they learned a lot last year that they have the ability to go out and win 100 baseball games, which is staggering for that young club. And they got better. They added Burns. They added Kimbrel at the back of their bullpen. I'm going to roll with the Orioles in the East.
We all agree there's 4 teams that are playoff contenders, and then the Red Sox come up last place in all of our predictions. In the NL Central, we had 3 different winners predicted. Paulie went with the Cardinals, who I believe are the odds-on favorite. You went with the Cubs.
I did.
And I went with the Cincinnati Reds.
Look at you being different. I like that.
With the moves that they made this offseason and some of the young players that they have that are like Steer, just good young players.
Great young players.
It's a gamble, but
there's no money
you
on
can just
this.
go chalk on everything.
Yep.
I thought that never wins.
I took a couple gambles later.
Yeah, so I went with the Reds.
I like that pick, though. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I do think that's a
you had the
pick.
Brewers still finishing second. Paulie had them fourth. I put them in fifth. I think at some point they're going to have to pay the piper for their moves, and I feel like this is going to be the year with the loss of Corbin Burns, with Woodruff still out for the whole season, even though they signed him. I don't know how much they can overcome at this point.
The reason I did it is not so much that they're good; it's that I think the Cardinals are going to be bad, based on the fact that their starting pitchers are all in their mid to late 50s.
I had them in fourth, so I
Ben with
did
the Pirates in third place was surprising.
I don't know. I love O'Neal
like them
Cruz
too,
and some of the young guys. I mean, maybe that's a gamble. They were looking decent for a good part of the season. They'll probably run out of pitching at some point, but
if they play the Padres 90 times,
then would they be fine?
In the AL Central, you guys both went with the Twins. I took a flyer, and I went with the Tigers this year.
What?
Well, I figure AJ Hinch probably has something up his sleeve or something.
So what has been missing from his sleeves?
I don't know, the last couple of years. We'll see. As you said, you like us.
Ben smoked opium here at 7 Mile Casino, I think.
Paulie had him in third. I put the White Sox. We all have the White Sox in last place, though, in that division. You have the Royals in second, which would be a nice story for them to bounce back. I had them in third.
I like them.
Paulie had them in fourth. Over in the AL West.
I went nuts here.
Yeah, you did. You went with the Mariners. Paulie and I both went with the Astros. Interestingly enough, Paulie is the only one that had the Texas Rangers even finishing second. We both picked the defending World Series champs to finish third in the AL West this season.
I like the Mariners pitching a lot.
I like that pick.
They're young. They're young pitching. I think Julio has a breakout season. They lost some players offensively, but I really like their pitching.
Feels
staff.
like they underperformed. It's not like they just they overperformed and just missed the playoffs.
Right.
It feels like they didn't hit where they should have.
Yeah,
last
but they
year.
also always feel kind of like the Padres, and they probably should finish ahead of the Astros, but somehow the Astros, like the Dodgers, will end up in first place. Now we're all convinced the Angels are a fourth place team, and the A's are a last place team.
Correct.
And then in the NL West, as much as it pains us, we did all pick the Dodgers.
How to do it
to win the division. Did we all pick the Padres second? No, we did not.
I did. I had to do a homer pick, and
I did as well. And Paulie went with the San Francisco Giants with the recent signing of Blake Snell. And then we went with the Giants for third. Paulie went with the Padres for third. Now you can still get a wild card in third place.
Sure.
Probably will. In the NL West this season.
No doubt.
It's a tough division.
And we all have the defending World Series champions having a bit of a hangover and falling to fourth for the Arizona Diamondbacks this year.
I know they've improved their team. They have. They absolutely have. They've added some pop to their lineup. I mean, they're one of those teams. I'm like, I can see them winning 70 games. I could see them winning 95 games.
Opposite of the Mariners that we just talked about, I feel like the Diamondbacks overperformed last year.
I think they did, and there could be some sophomore slumps in there.
I like their pitching too.
I mean, Corbin Carroll's a really good player, but the league will catch up a little bit. Moreno probably has some struggles in him. All that work behind the plate in the postseason as well could come back to.
We'll post these for accountability.
Yeah, we're going to put. Paulie's putting them up on social media. Then AL champions. Paulie and I both chose the Astros. Woods, you're going with the Orioles.
Yep, took the O's.
And then NL champions,
I took the Braves.
Braves and Braves for Woods and Paul.
We refused to
I
pick
took
the Dodgers to win the NL.
I did take the Dodgers.
You did?
I did.
It's October.
But they're going to lose to the Astros in the World Series again.
Oh, man. I got the Braves and the O's, and I got the Braves winning the World Series.
And so does Paulie, has the Braves winning the World Series. And then for the MVPs in the American League, it is a clean sweep because as only Padres fans know, as soon as you trade a guy, he's really going to be great. So Juan Soto is your American League MVP.
Almost guaranteed.
I like your pick, Woods, for National League MVP.
I liked my pick, too. By the way, I changed it.
You didn't go Homer. Now, we both went with Tatis.
I did, and I watched his first 4 at-bats, and I said, I'm changing my pick. I swear to God. I changed it.
I filled out my portion of the bracket first and sent it over to you guys like, hey, here's what we got. Give me your picks. You can text them separately, and I'll fill them all in. And then Ben picked Soto and Tatis as well. And I go, oh, you and me are on the same page. He goes, wow, I swear to God, I didn't even look.
Yeah.
And then you sent me your picks, Woods, and I texted Ben back. I go, well, just wait till you see who Woods picked because he also had Tatis and Soto.
I changed mine this morning to Matt Olson is who I'm going with for the MVP.
I like that pick. I think that's a smart one. The reason I went with Tatis is very Homer, but
it's wishful. I would love it.
He went 0 for 4 today, but he smoked one of his balls. I feel like almost every game he's going to hit something over 100 miles an hour. And if he gets elevation on a lot of those, he's going to hit a ton of home runs. He does spectacular things like stealing home plate. His defense is platinum glove. You put it all together, and, on a team that expectations are now down for, if the Padres have any kind of decent season and Tatis is the best player, he's going to get a ton of love for MVP this year. He's just in a good spot for it.
Yeah.
This would be the year to do it if he has a good year. So
Acuna is a safe bet as well.
Of course.
He's
I hate picking back-to-backs because I know the voters hate picking back-to-backs unless it's like overwhelming, like convincing. They didn't even love to give him to Trout back-to-back. Like, we just gave it to him last year. We can't do it again.
I thought Olsen had such a monster year that was so underappreciated last year.
Which is that's the recipe for an MVP, I think.
Yeah, he's a really good baseball player on a really good team.
Now, a lot of people that are mad that we all picked the Dodgers to win the division, but I mean,
if you have to make your picks, you got to
if you want
to
have
smartly.
Decent credibility, then it's hard to.
I mean, Ben had him in the World Series.
It's hard to make a strong argument for any of the other 4 NL West teams to win more regular season games than the Dodgers.
Very much so.
They are the deepest team, and they have MVPs in several positions.
I mean, as bad as last year was for the Padres, if the Dodgers didn't win the division or missed the playoffs, that would be the biggest collapse, the most biggest disappointment in MLB baseball.
Let's say they win 94 games. Massive underachievement from what people think. They're probably still winning the division.
Right.
And that would be 14 games less than people thought. I mean, they have to lose 20 to 25 games less than people are expecting to really not win the division.
Yeah, no doubt.
Almost no team wins 20 games less than expected. The Padres had a horrible year last year. I don't remember anyone, maybe a couple people picked him to win 102 games. It's tough to lose 20 games left than people are expecting you to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you try to make your picks honestly, and I think that's probably the safest chalk there is the Dodgers winning the West. I mean, they win the West when they don't spend $1 billion in the offseason. So I'm just going to roll with what I think.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not as though Ohtani's some gamble.
Right.
He's
a minor gamble, but he's not
unanimous MVP.
Yeah,
coming off of surgery.
The $700 million gamble for the amount of time is a gamble, but he's going to DH. He's going to put up big numbers as a DH this year. I mean, with the fact that he doesn't even have the chance to get injured while pitching, is probably makes him even a safer bet this year to have a productive year offensively for the Dodgers.
100%. There's no doubt.
Yamamoto is a bit of a gamble. Yeah. I mean, any pitcher that has not pitched in the big leagues, you don't totally know what you're going to see. It's easier to project pitchers than it is hitters because their stuff is their stuff, and if it plays, it plays. So I think he's going to be good, but it's a little more of a gamble than Ohtani.
Yeah, we didn't do Cy Youngs or anything.
We didn't pick Cy Youngs.
Spencer Strider is my pick in the NL. And in the AL, I don't know.
Corbin Burns, maybe with the Orioles, new team, little invigorated in the American League, possibly.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Rookie of the year,
Jackson Merrill,
obviously.
If you want a homer pick, there it is.
Yeah.
Go with a guy is going to start a lot.
Jackson Merrill.
And looks very comfortable up at the plate. Why
not
not
a homer pick?
That's not a good pick. I think that's a solid pick. I mean, I know there's so many great prospects who will probably be making their debut this year, like 14 of them are named Jackson.
Like him.
But he's got the start in center field right now. Premium position, looks comfortable out there. I think he's a really good choice at this point for Rookie of the Year.
100%. All right, that's it for us, guys.
It is not quite it for us, guys. You got
every time.
Fussy Woods. You've got 2 more minutes.
We do have a lot of thank yous.
I think we could spend a couple of minutes thanking a massive number of people who helped pull this incredible event off. Let's start with the staff and everybody here at 7 Mile Casino.
Unreal.
I have no idea what they were warned to expect.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, we're going to have a radio station that's going to be here to watch the Padre game. There might be, 10 or 15 people who come. So just keep an eye out, for them.
Legit thought 30 was my number in my head. I'm
Over-under?
If 30 people come, I'll be elated.
My over-under was probably, I know the tier 1s are great. I was thinking maybe 40 to 50. We had, according to
Brad,
the eye in the sky, and they can keep track of such things, we had over 350 people.
That's unbelievable.
Show up for a 3 a.m. Padres viewing party.
Don't ever tell me this isn't this is not a baseball town.
When I was coming over here from the hotel down the street, I saw so many fans walking down the street.
I was confused.
I don't know
why
where
didn't
they
you just
park?
drive to 7 Mile Casino? It's down the street.
There's like 4 parking lots
there's
here.
no parking
Every
lots.
single spot was full. People had to park way down the block here on Bay Boulevard. They were walking over at 2:45 in the morning.
They walked the last mile to 7 Mile.
Yeah.
So great job by the 7 Mile staff.
Soapy Joe's for sponsoring today's
100%.
show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Soapy Joe's. That was terrific. Thank you to Adam Klug back in our studio. Our promotions team.
Oh, you guys crushed it.
Presley, thank you so much, guys, to be here all night. You don't ask the promotions team to do all-nighters very often, so this is very rare. Adam Klug back in our studio.
When did your night start, Presley? 1 a.m.?
She got to work at 1 to get all the stuff at the station to bring down here. Tough night, long night for everybody. We had Sammy Levitt stop by, working hard as well with the pre and the post game show. And then got to thank Michael, Brad, 7 Mile, everybody. Thank you so much. If I left anyone out, sorry
tier
about
one.
that.
The tier one.
Tier ones.
Thank you. You guys rule. Best in the business.
All right, we got another game tomorrow. We'll be on the air right after Sammy's post game show again from the studio tomorrow, but make sure you tune in, get a little bit of sleep, get ready for another 3 a.m. wake-up call. For Stephen Woods, for Paul Reindl, I'm Ben Higgins, Annie and Elston coming up next right here on San Diego's #1 sport station, 97.3 The Fan. Thank you.